gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor, while others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Marine litter is often the result of poorly managed trash on land. To help prevent trash from escaping from your outdoor trash bins on collection day, keep the trash bin lid closed. Don't overflow it, and put it out for pickup shortly before the scheduled pickup time. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Hey, you got 10 minutes? Then you've got time for the new podcast, 10 Takes with Kyle Brandt. Every Monday, I give you 10 takes from the NFL, from the universe, and I give them to you in just 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you may just have the best time you've ever had listening to a podcast. It could be a crazy play I'm talking about. It could be how I hate child car seats and I don't know how to install them. You just never know. Listen to 10 Takes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
It's the 4th annual Ugly Sweater Run 5K and 10K presented by Hunter Subaru. Saturday, December the 2nd at the Riveter in Asheville. Runners and walkers don their most outrageously festive and tacky outfits, making this the most festive race of the year. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just looking for some holiday fun, the Ugly Sweater Run is the perfect way to celebrate the season, spread joy, and create lasting memories. For more information and to get signed up, go to idaph.net, idaph.net. Proudly sponsored by 97.7 The Brew, Asheville's Christmas station.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America. And this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. It is middle of the week here, and this is usually how the football season goes. Is as we get into the later stages of the season, as we called it yesterday, the home stretch of the season. A lot of talk revolves around the coaches and who's going to be moving on and who can save their jobs for the rest of the year and what has to happen. So that's going to be a main topic of today's discussion. We also got the college football playoff. We'll talk about with our power rankings and scenarios and all of that coming your way as well. It's a big weekend for your Florida State Seminoles there, Jeremy.
Yeah. Hey, we got back to 4. Sweet.
Come on, you're in the top 4. It's you got a claim.
Yeah, my wife could not wrap her head around, well, wait, you're 11-0. Why are you so sad? Well, because I know what's fitting to happen. Right. That's why.
Right.
Because there's only but 3 ways this could go. Either we lose to Louisville, which is, I'd say, 25%, or we get into the playoff and get boat raced by Georgia or Michigan.
Yes.
But I actually separated those two because there's really only 2 paths.
That is pretty much the only 2 paths for your Florida State Seminoles. So we'll talk about all of it. Who's got a stake to the college football playoff? Obviously, the top 4 coming out last night, and there were no surprises. Florida State moving back into the top 4.
Yeah, I'm a yell. I just go ahead and tell you, if my yelling is not something that you enjoy, you may not love our college football discussion in the next hour.
Okay.
Because there are some people that are paid quite a bit of money by some very high-end institutions that I'm not sure are not too stupid to breathe.
Okay. We'll get into all of it. Plus, of course, taking your comments in the YouTube section. And let's see here. Is there a group of coaches right now that there's nothing they can do to save their jobs?
No.
Really?
No. There's not one coach that does not have a path. Now, are there some that are a little bit harder to figure out than others? Yes.
Okay. All
and
right,
that's, I would say the one that we start with is the one that is the hardest to figure out your path of, but how you going to do that? And that's Ron Rivera, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
Right. Because I've got him down in the nothing you can do category.
There's always something you can do.
Walk me through the path of how he keeps his job.
You beat the Dolphins, you beat the 49ers, and you beat the Cowboys. And then you beat the Rams and the Jets. You finish with 5 straight wins, you go 9-8, and you make the playoffs. I didn't say it was a likely path.
Okay.
I said there was a path.
There was a path. Okay.
Well, I mean, look, you got to ask yourself the question, why did they not fire Ron Rivera? And everybody that wants to talk about Eric Bieniemy, he should be the next head coach. Well, if they thought there was a snowball's chance in Atlanta, he was going to be the next head coach, he'd be the head coach right now.
Agreed.
But he's not. And do you know why? Because it's really hard to incite a fan base that's a really loyal fan base. And look, something I never hear people talk about. There are tiers of fan base in the NFL. You got Washington, the Jets. By the way, our New York Jets shirt dropped this morning. I'll have it up on the live stream in the breaks of this here program, and it is just Sheskies. I plan on doing one just like that for every woe-begotten franchise in the NFL.
Yes, this is, by the way, for those who are listening on the radio and can't see the picture of the shirt when it comes up. This is the anti-hero shirt, basically.
It's the Jets Gonna Jet shirt.
Yeah,
I changed the logo.
Yep.
It's you have the New York Jet logo. It looks very spot on too. And I changed some of the letters to make it muy triste. Very sad.
Yes.
And then I put all of the Jets kerfuffles on the back. So I'm very proud of it.
It's like a word collage on the back of all of the big things that have just kicked you in the nethers in your
the plums,
fandom,
if you will.
And we're definitely going to do one of these for all of the downtrodden
Panthers are next.
Franchises.
Panthers are next. Washington franchise. I'm trying to figure out how to get that name on the shirt without it being offensive. And I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? Because my name's on the door. And I do what I want.
Right.
And all of the others. Bengals, we asked the Discord, hey, what team should have one of these? And some of you threw out names that I went, shut up. Okay? That'd be 4 words. It's hard to make that big enough. Baltimore Ravens fan. Oh, Jonathan Ogden stubbed his toe one time. That was very sad. Shut up. I couldn't get every draft bust on the Jet shirt. I don't want to hear about your pain.
Right.
Anyway,
look forward to getting your pain shirt, Jets Going Jet shirt from the store, and look forward to the future releases of other pain shirts involving, other NFL teams.
Not everybody's logo is as easy to manipulate as the New York Jets. When you have a lot of words, makes it real easy for somebody like me to go, let's just take those out.
Yeah. So Ron Rivera, I mean, okay, mathematically speaking, I guess there's a path, but realistically,
if they were dead set on firing him, they already would have.
I just don't know.
Now, look,
what
I'm
you
not
can
saying
prove.
they're not 90% there, but there is a path. If the defense gets exponentially better now that he's calling it, I think you still have to win 7 games, but 2 of those are against the Rams and the Jets.
Yeah.
Who have nothing to play for.
Do you think that last year's scenario in Carolina with Steve Wilks has other owners around the league, other GMs around the league looking at that situation and going, we need to be careful about who we put in charge
Always
at the
did.
end?
But that's not a new thing. Dan Campbell did this one time.
Mm-hmm.
He took over for the Dolphins, and all of a sudden they look like a cognitive franchise. It's more the other way of, all right, let's say they do have some belief in Eric Bieniemy. I don't want to thrust Ron Rivera's staff on him, and he coaches these last 5 games, and they get their brains beat out. And now I can't sell this. Mm-hmm. That's the bigger problem. That's why I don't think, or at least to me, that's why Ejiro Evero didn't get the job in Carolina. They took the most non-threatening coach humanly possible in Chris Tabor.
Right.
Went, hey, you go get your arse kicked for the next, I don't know, 5-6 weeks, and then
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that has a role. The Steve Wilkes thing and the fan base getting behind a guy into the season has more of a role maybe than it ever did. I get what you're saying about the enemy, but I feel the same way about Kellen Moore with LA.
They have no faith in Kellen Moore.
Yeah, apparently
Kellen Moore's in the same boat that Eric Bieniemy is. Because look, the Chargers, and we'll talk about Brandon Staley in the next segment.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers have a real path to, hey, you could just lather up and do this again.
Yep.
Which to me is dumb. But I'm going to say something about owners, and I'm not throwing this directly at you, but you're the one that said it, and you're the one I'm talking to. Owners do not give a flying flip what you think. They don't care. And here's why. They know you're going to keep showing up. Carolina Panther fans, oh, this is awful. We fired all these coaches. David Tepper's hired as many coaches in his time as the owner of the Carolina Panthers as the Pittsburgh Steelers have since 1967. Awesome. Week 1 of next year, you going to be there? Yeah, that's what I thought. And he knows that too.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think doesn't matter nearly as much as you think it does. Oh, your little you said this yesterday. Storm on Mint. You know what David Tepper's going to do? He's going to sit in a high-rise and watch all of you run right up to that stadium. He's going to light a cigar with a $100 bill and go, they think I care. They think I care. I'm worth $40 bajillion. You think I care what you think.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Uh-huh.
That's the problem with ownership, is that bad ownership is the one thing you can't fire. You can't get away from it.
It's true.
You're stuck with it.
True. And thankfully, in the case of the Washington Commanders, they did get rid of him. They did get rid of their bad owner. They have new ownership, and I keep coming back to that. There is zero path here. I don't care if they beat everybody 50-0 the rest of the season. I don't think that new ownership is going to look at Ron Rivera and go, yeah, this is a good thing. We can do this. We can keep doing this.
I can't tell you why I know this, but I can tell you definitively, you're wrong.
Okay.
They want to find a reason to keep Ron Rivera, not find a reason to push him out the door.
Really?
Stability. Josh Harris is not new to this. Magic Johnson is not new to this.
Mm-hmm.
You get guys like David Tepper that, and this is my old bar theory, guys make money with hedge funds, guys make money in real estate, and all of a sudden they think they're John Taffer. They're not. And that's what David Tepper is doing. Josh Harris, way more patient. Do you remember how long he held on to Brett Brown? That team couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie. Mm-hmm. And Brett Brown lasted forever. You know why? Because Josh Harris is a pretty good owner. So he's not going to be impatient here. I think ultimately Ron Rivera will get got because there's 3 of those games. I don't see a path that you're going to win, and 2 of them you probably get absolutely smoked in.
Right.
But there is a path.
Okay.
And that's what we're asking. What is the path?
What is the path?
We also got our first one of these of the day.
Super chat.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's a new member of the House of Reprehensibles, David Beckerman. Welcome in. We're always happy to see new people. We're like an AA meeting for sports. Feel free to throw your drug of choice out there. Mine is the fighting New York Jets because I just can't stop doing it.
None of us can, right? And New England Patriots fans are finding themselves in that situation right now with their head coach, Bill Belichick, going, it was fun. It was fun, but it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another one. I don't think there's a thing that can happen.
Oh, I do. I think it's the easiest of all of them. He walks into Bob Kraft's office and goes, I'm not going anywhere.
That's all it's going to say?
We do.
Kick him out.
There's a lot of fan base that would not be happy with that, and you better crush this next hire, and you're the second least attractive job in this whole market.
Mm-hmm. But you have the ready-made replacement in-house.
Oh, he's not getting this job.
Gerard Mayo's not getting this job?
No shot. There is
Really?
no shot. This has gone so bad. And now look, the 10% I will give you that it could be Gerard Mayo is you don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy, and they know definitively this roster is so far away from competitive that it is pitiful. So they might low-key just go, you know what? We'll trot Gerard out here for a couple of years. He'll get fired, and then we'll have a shot at Mike Vrabel or whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's how that would go. That franchise is way too proud for that. It's also a job where you're practically destined to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a reporter in the Northeast tell me this a couple weeks ago, and it bore in my brain, and I can't stop thinking about it. what could you possibly do in one offseason that any coach, and what he said to me was, take any coach in the NFL, what are you going to give them that's going to make this team better than 5-12 next year? I've thought about that now for roughly 17 days. I don't have an answer to that. And there is a merit, potentially, depends on just how impatient Bob Kraft is, and I think he's been pretty patient to this point, of Bill's already catching the flag. You know, the fan base has already turned on Bill. So do I want to bring in the next coach and basically doom him for failure off the jump?
I would say yes. I don't want to keep doing this.
Which lands you in competitive quicker?
Hanging with Bill Belichick or moving on?
Well, let me give you a scenario. What if you looked at Bill and said, Bill, buddy, we think you're a great coach. You're the most god-awful talent evaluator in the history of the NFL, and we're going to hire Dolph Ziggler to be your new GM. He's unemployed and doesn't have anything to do. That could go a handful of ways. Bill could tell you to pound sand, which is what a lot of people think would happen. The other possibility is that you put in who it is that you want in the personnel department. They ride with Bill for a year, and then a year from now, Bill's so irritated at not being able to shop for the groceries per se that he walks away of his own volition. And trust me, this is more of a chess game than you think.
Right.
Because if you hire a coach that has no shot to win, you have basically said for 3 years, I'm going to be irrelevant, and I'm probably going to break whoever this next quarterback is. Because that's how you wind up with 3 offensive schemes in 3 years. And I've never seen a quarterback survive that.
And to the question that you asked me a moment ago, what gets you to being more competitive faster? I think it's ripping the Band-Aid.
Okay, so rip the Band-Aid.
Because you're going to have to push this off.
With who?
To me, it doesn't matter. I mean,
no,
you can go with Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo would have a 0.0001% chance of success. First of all, to be a defensive guy that gets a head coach in this league, you better be real, real good, and you better be real, real connected because you're going to have to put together a staff that's deep. I mean, just look around the NFL. Name me the best team in the NFL with a defensive head coach. I'll wait because it's Mike Tomlin. I'll save you the trouble of looking. They're just not out there. So to me, it would be borderline impossible for me to hire a defensive coach anyway. But then you get a first-time guy with a roster that's this bad, and the problem's not the defense. The problem's the offense. So now, all right, I give it to Mayo. Let's say he succeeds. You're going to lose your offensive coordinator in a year. Because if you make anybody that you bring in there that makes this look even vaguely competent will be a head coach in a year. And it just the paths of success are really hard for me to get to. Should they rip the Band-Aid off with Bill? Absolutely. 3 years ago. But now you're so pot committed to all these things that Bill has done. Could I see a path that he swings his weight around and just goes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to make you fire me. I think Bob Kraft would do it, but that's your path. They're not going to win any games. There's not a path in that.
Right.
But I could see 6 Super Bowl rings just being enough to keep you around for another year. And it wouldn't shock me in the least. Yeah. It would have until a handful of weeks ago.
Right.
And I cannot get there.
You're in the Sportsocracy. CSPN Asheville. Bill is doomed in New England as far as I'm concerned.
Our new House of Reprehensibles member, David Beckerman, he said he's been listening for a year. Finally splurged on the membership. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
You know, we're poormen, and all those doubloons count, and those go directly to us. But he's from Boston, lifelong Patriots fan, and he said, yeah, I agree. We need a whole new offense or let Bill stay and fix the offense. That's actually what I would say is the more likely, is that you look at Bill. You go, look, this Bill O'Brien thing, it ain't working. You as the GM, it ain't working. We're going to bring in somebody that's going to fix the offense. We're going to bring in somebody that's going to fix the personnel. And Bill might resolve himself that way.
He would.
And if he doesn't now, he'll do it in a year.
I think he would. I think he would walk out the door because that's part of his deal, right?
I'm not a huge fan of hiring a coach just to hire a coach. D'Amico Ryans, that's a 1 in a million shot. He played for that franchise. He was the best coach on the market by a mile. That was an ugly job. Ugly job. And I'm not so sure that there's a guy on this market that will do that. In the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about who we would hire. And I'm friends with at least one of the people that we're going to pick in this draft. And I'm not sure that any of them are, hey, look, I showed up and all of a sudden we're good. No, it's I picked the right job and all of a sudden we're good. So it's not as easy as just, hey, this guy is awful. Let's go find somebody else. Well, they might be awfuler.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is CSPN Asheville.
The Ingalls Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingalls Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingalls Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year from all your friends at MB Haynes Corporation.
Season's greetings from Mountain Credit Union, wishing you joy, peace, and prosperity this holiday season. Thank you for being a part of the Mountain Credit Union family. May your celebrations be merry and your new year filled with financial success. Happy holidays.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand-name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Team, it's snowing again tomorrow. They're predicting 2 to 3 feet.
'Tis the overtime season for Frank Snowplows.
Kelly, can you take another shift?
Let it snow. Quality driver applicants.
Hey guys, know anybody else with a D license?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
It is ESPN Asheville. How do you save your job if you're an NFL coach on the hot seat? I mean, the hot seat list can go, 12 at this point?
I struggle to get that deep.
I mean, you'd have to have some disastrous finishes for it to get that high.
I can get to the 10 that Adam Schefter said. I don't really think I can get any deeper than that.
Right.
Unless you have some really impetuous owners that just, you know what? We hired a guy last year, but he's not good. There's your roster.
Yeah. Matt Eberflus with the Chicago Bears. I feel like he should be in that there's nothing you can do category.
He should be. He's not.
What are they seeing?
The defense is getting better. I could see a path, and I'm really kind of throwing shade at Ryan Poles here.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, you have pulled off one of the worst trades I've ever seen. And you have poured a lot of your resources into that defense, not so much that offense. I could see a path that Luke Getsy gets the guillotine, and they believe they can fix Justin Fields. And hey, we got 2 top 5 picks. We'll keep stacking draft capital, and they stand pat.
Or will they give Poles the freedom to make his own choice? Because he got saddled with Justin Fields, right? That was the previous administration, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
I think they who was it that was before him? I'd forgotten the name.
Ryan Pace.
Yeah, Ryan Pace made that pick, I believe. And then Poles came in. And so will they
believe you were right.
Yeah, so will they give him the freedom to make his own selection? Because
it's possible.
Because you're tied to Justin Fields, right? Your success is going to be tied to this quarterback.
Or it's going to be tied to the quarterback that you take him on.
Exactly.
Which you want to talk about? You ever seen that meme of the older feller and he's wearing a red plaid shirt and it's Christmas and he opens up his Christmas gift and it's the same red plaid shirt and he holds it up? That's how I feel like the Chicago Bears would look going, look, we got Caleb Williams. Well, we exchanged Justin Fields and they're way more the same guy than you want them to be.
Are they really?
They're not exactly the same. They both have a big wart that would terrify me.
I mean, Caleb is way better as a quarterback.
Easy though.
Isn't he? I mean, that comes with a big question mark for me because I believe he is.
Yeah, do me a favor. Watch his tape and cull all of the games against directional schools, whack schools. Just put on the tape of him against good teams. You may see things more my way.
Okay. All right.
He's he's a much better thrower of the football. I also don't know if that's the guy that I want to, because look, Chicago's a god-awful place for quarterbacks to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they've never had a 4,000-yard passer. There's a reason they've had 417 quarterbacks in the last, 40 years? And I don't know that that's the situation. I also don't know that Caleb Williams won't behind closed doors go, don't draft me. You won't like how this goes.
Right.
Because he has that sense to me of, I'm going to call my shot.
Right. I mean, you look at a franchise that goes, at some point you got to get one, right? At some point you have to get a good quarterback. The best quarterback in Bears history, aside from Sid Luckman, is Jay Cutler.
Jim McMahon.
But Jay Cutler was better than him. He just doesn't have a Super Bowl to show for it.
Smoking Jay Cutler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it's going to take a lot for Eberflus, and you're probably right. Poles gets his shot to hire his guy. I'm not sure who that is. It's not an unattractive job at this point, but it's also not the most attractive job.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Brooks said it came out today that Caleb Williams doesn't even know if he'll come out.
Oh, yeah, he's a game-time decision.
Yeah, that's it, and that's just another one of those things that makes me look at Caleb Williams and go, you know what? I'm good. There are too many players. You cannot screw up Marvin Harrison. All right, you can give Marvin Harrison Tim Boyle and the offensive line of the New York Jets, and he will still, at worst, be the 5th best receiver in this league. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And you, my fingernail painted friend, can go be somebody else's problem.
I don't want the mental headache. I really don't. He's shown me enough.
Caleb Williams at this point is like that really hot girl you meet at a bar, and she keeps talking about her chakra, and she's got a jewel around her neck that she uses to fend off spirits. And you're like, are you hot enough for me to deal with this? Because I'm not so sure you are.
Right, it's that crazy hot scale thing.
Yeah,
you gotta balance that out somehow.
I'm not so sure you're that hot.
And Caleb's he's like a 10 hot, but he's also like a 12 crazy.
Yeah, there's a girl sitting over there in the corner, and she's drinking a seltzer by herself, and she looks like a lot more fun. That's Drake May. Just throwing that out there. Wanted to make sure that you got it. You understood the comparison I was making there.
Right. Who else is on the hot seat here?
Brandon Staley is the one that I look at and go, if you were anywhere else, I would be dead set convinced that you could do absolutely nothing to save yourself here.
Mm-hmm.
You might be the one with the best shot to save yourself. Have you looked at who they play on the backside of this?
Uh-huh.
Patriots, Broncos, Raiders, Broncos, and then the Bills and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 5-1, and I know that sounds really out there right now because everybody super believes in the Raiders, everybody super believes in the Broncos, but should you do that? Because I just want you to say this out loud. You get Favre, I get Justin Herbert. You get Russell Wilson, I get Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
You get Mac Jones, I get Justin Herbert. And if you look at him over the course of time, he's done a really good job of beating quarterbacks that he's better than. Where he runs into a problem is when he comes up against a quarterback who is better than him. Pat Mahomes is the one of them specifically thinking of.
Right.
So, and I guess that's my question. The Chargers are 4-7. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're not even appearing in the mix at this point. So the playoffs are that's a
pipe dream,
no doubt.
Yeah.
But what if you get to like 9-8? Is that enough? You have a historically cheap ownership group that really does not like paying guys to go away. Is that enough? It shouldn't be, but it could be.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. The only way that maybe it would is if you have zero doubts after all of these games, like whatever the winning streak has to be to put you at that level of maybe he is, maybe he isn't, it would have to be, I would have to see flawless coaching, right? Flawless game management at the end of games. No more of this stupid going for it on fourth down on your own 25-yard line with
He's
6
done that
minutes
way
to
less
go.
over the last few weeks.
And I get it, but what I'm saying is he has to eliminate all of those things for me as an owner to look at him and go, okay, you've figured out your problems. Now we're not going to have any more of this. We're in close games, and I can just guarantee that we're going to lose at some point. That would have to change, and I don't know that it can.
And now you got to understand,
games.
when I'm giving these devil's advocate things, I'm trying to think as the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Staley could literally cure world hunger, and I would still think he was the stupidest person I've ever seen behind an NFL stanchion in my entire life. Wouldn't change anything. He could literally tear apart a spaceship and put it back together. And Josh Dobbs could get on that spaceship, fly to the moon, colonize aliens, bring them back, and Brandon Staley could be the ruler, and I would still look at him and go, you are an idiot.
Again, nothing he can do. For some, but it's not our decision to make. It's Tom Telesco's decision to make, right?
Well, and there's a possibility that's not his decision either.
Right.
They could just clean house, and I'm not sure that would be the wrong move. I like Tom so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's such a smart guy.
I think he probably
I
survives
really do.
this. I mean, he
I
put
don't.
together a good team, right?
I don't.
It's
I
just the
think
coaching.
the Quentin Johnston thing is going to be enough. You ever seen the meme of the dragons and one of them's eyes are going all Adam Gase, just googly eyed?
Yeah.
That's Quentin Johnston with Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith, and Jake Butt, and Jordan Addison. Like, oh boy, and you took him first.
You're in the Sportsocracy, the ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed 1 layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? Joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. In Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are here at Lowe's. Bring home a holiday living 4-piece decor set with a wreath, garland, and 2-potted trees. A $149 value, just $59. Valid through 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, and over the weekend, it was hard for me over the weekend to follow everything that was happening in college football, professional football, all of the things, and keep up with the family and the goings and the comings of the holiday season and all of that. But I rely on Twitter a lot to keep me up to date on what's going on. And one of the accounts that I follow, and I'm sure most sports fans probably do follow, Barstool Sports. On Saturdays, they're great at posting out stuff that you didn't get to see from games all across the nation.
We love Dave Portnoy.
Yes, and they love to put out, funny pictures of fans caught on television. There was one that they put out from the Oklahoma TCU game, where there was an Oklahoma fan who was proudly cheering for his team, all decked out in the front row, and they caught him mid-yell with his mouth agape and all three of his teeth showing.
Was he yelling, "Why does our coach look like a corpse?"
Probably so. He was yelling, "Let's go Nosferatu Jr." And, of course, when they posted the picture, it was, obviously to get the reaction from everybody about Oklahoma fans and dental hygiene, and you can imagine how Twitter treated that picture. One of my
didn't go well for that fella.
One of my favorite comments was he was wearing his OU, like really nice OU championship jacket that said 7-time national champions, and somebody had commented that he had a tooth for every championship that Oklahoma had. So, points for that. But here again, it's mean-spirited, and we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't make fun of people on the internet. That's the high road, right?
Oh, wait, we're not supposed to do that? I've been doing that wrong for a long time. I wish somebody told me. Oops.
When the social media post went viral, though, enter the Good Samaritan, an OU alum by the name of Dr. Brett Francis, a dentist at Dental Designs of Stroud, and you can probably tell where this is going. He chimed into the Barstool Sports page and said, "Hey, anybody tell me how I can find out who this guy is, because I want to give him a Christmas present." and he's redoing the guy's mouth. He's going to give him all of the dental hygiene treatment that he needs to have a big, bright smile on his face the next time that he goes back to OU for a game. I think it's a great story. It's awesome that other dental companies apparently are now getting involved with this case and maybe opening the door for more charity cases because, frankly, as a Georgia fan, we've got a lot of people that need this too. So can we get on the stick here?
My story, who's shocked, is about gambling. This weekend, we will have the Big Ten championship game.
Yes.
Michigan Wolverines and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the line for this game?
Oh, it's got to be Michigan by 30.
You're too high, but not by much.
28.5.
24.
Oh.
Now, that's not why I wanted to tell this story. What's the over-under? I'm gonna challenge how good you are at math.
29.
It's higher than that.
32.
35.
35. Okay.
Now, use your mathing skills and tell me what that means that Vegas thinks the score of this game is going to be.
Ooh, what is that? What's that? Wait.
It's 29.5.
29.
29.5 to 5.5.
Okay.
What's the first half line for Iowa points? Lower.
2.5?
Lower.
It's lower than 2.5? 1.
Lower.
A half?
It's a half a point.
Oh, my gosh.
If Iowa scores in any way, it doesn't. If you can physically score points, they cover. The minute they touch the scoreboard, Iowa has covered. In both halves.
That's amazing.
That is unfathomable
I've never
for me.
seen that before.
And neither have I. And I'm not going to lie, I have been staring at my computer screen all day going, I want to bet the under. I want to bet the under so bad. Because I don't think they're going to score. I am hammering the under, by the way.
For the just cheap thought that at the end of the game they're going to get a field goal.
Unless they have a kicker that can kick one from his own 40-yard line, I'm not so sure that's true.
I mean, Michigan's up.
They can't score on bad defenses. What are they going to do against a good one?
If Michigan gets up 50-0, and maybe they put the scrubs in, and even the scrubs will give up a field goal.
They got to score 50 points on Iowa. Has that offense looked particularly good? They scored 30 points on Ohio State, who defensively, I hate to break it to you, they're not as good as Iowa.
Yeah,
that Iowa defense is insane.
Harbaugh's back. Maybe that'll make a difference.
It won't. I'm hammering the under. I'm hammering Iowa plus the 24 because I easily could see this game being 17-0, and Iowa has a grand total of 27 yards. We have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. It's from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. The New York Jets are opening the 21-day practice window on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no.
Why? But for why are you doing that?
To get you to talk about it.
That's not it. He actually thinks he's going to come back and play. And even more insanity is he thinks there's a reason he should come back and play.
But you're not still alive, are you?
Well, technically, there's only one team in the NFL that's physically eliminated from playoff contention, and that's your Carolina Panthers. But for why are you doing this? For the love of all that's good and holy, do not put him behind that offensive line. If he was bionic, I would still not put him behind that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's me. I mean, I'm the guy. I made that shirt that's been swinging around on our social medias. But I see how this is going to go, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Not nary a little bit.
How's that going to go?
They're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons this week. Don't ask me how. I have no idea. Maybe Desmond Ridder throws 4 pick sixes. I don't know. They beat Atlanta. Now they're 5-7. A whole mess of things go their way. And the next thing you know, old brother A.A. Rod is out there slinging passes. And you know what makes me the angriest about this? I got a text at like 9 o'clock this morning that said, the Aaron thing's not dead.
Ruh-roh.
I don't, no, no.
Well, this revisionist history would make me right on that one, I guess. I mean, I'm with you. I don't think it should happen. He kept talking about it, and as long as there's an outside shot, he keeps maintaining.
But for why? But what good is this going to do? Other than serve your own self-serving devices to go, look, my homeopathic medicine. By the way, you can find your Aaron Rodgers homeopathic clinic t-shirt also in our merch store. Other than to serve that vice, which is, hey, look, I came back quicker than anybody from an Achilles.
Yep.
What does that do? What does that do?
Raise hope. It
for
raises
who?
Hope for you.
There's
for
not
you
a Jets
fan.
There is no Jets fan with hope for this year. None. We are way too cynical for that. You have done this to us for 60-something years. I have told you this. Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil on the streets of Miami, Florida in 1969 for a Super Bowl. And I don't care how many recreational drugs Aaron Rodgers is smoking. What are you doing?
Sorry, I had the wrong keyboard. My bad.
Apparently. I forgot completely what I was saying right there.
Were you talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Thanks.
Yeah.
I knew that much. I don't remember what I said right before you just blew my eardrums out.
Sorry.
I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah, they're gonna keep this going to keep you to keep your name in the news, right? Win the news cycle. It matters.
Why do you want to win the news cycle?
Because that's Aaron Rodgers' game, right? That's a game.
Well, Aaron Rodgers didn't make
for
this call.
4 years.
Aaron Rodgers didn't make this call.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Oh, Aaron
Joe
Rodgers.
Douglas is the one that had to hit the button.
Oh, I get it.
At some point, you got to look at him and go, "Are you stupid?"
Yeah.
There's no benefit to this at all.
But they don't have the ability.
Of course they do. Of course they do. This is an NFL franchise. I can look at you and go, "No, I'm not gonna do it, and you can't make me." My career is hinged on you, and if you get hurt again, I am screwed.
I get what you're saying, but I really don't think that there's a GM that would look at Aaron Rodgers and go, "No, he wants to play, or he wants to make it appear that he's gonna." I mean, have they told him no about anything yet?
Well, and maybe, just maybe, that's why he only has one Super Bowl.
That's very true.
It's because no GM would stand up and just go, "Nope, I'm going to do what's better for you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, because do you realize how many things would have to happen for the New York Jets to make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously is not going to play this week. I would say there's almost no shot he plays next week.
No.
They play the Texans next week. I mean, what do they think, that opening the practice window is going to get the best effort out of Tim Boyle, who should be selling Navage or Allstate or one of the other lovely sponsors of this here station?
Can I interest you in a story about nasal suction?
Yeah, that's what Tim Boyle should be doing. Not playing quarterback in the NFL.
Speaking of,
I saw it in the chat, and I just had to go see it for myself, and I saw it on Twitter, and awesome. That's good.
Yeah. It doesn't raise your hope for next season, though, if he comes back.
Why would it raise my hope?
Or are you
for
just
next
going
season?
to?
What could he do in this season that's going to raise my hope for next year? I'm fine with him next year anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I was worried he's not going to be able to walk. He's trying to play this year. Why in the world would I have a fear he's not going to play in September?
No, I mean, it's to give you the sneak preview, to show you that we're on the right path for next year.
Don't need it. I know what it looks like. I saw it in the preseason. It was just fine.
Right.
It was a quarterback that could make an accurate throw to the one receiver you have. I mean, the only small frame of hope that this does give me is, hey, Aaron, maybe you have to, you know what? Maybe we deactivate Garrett Wilson for a week, and we let you throw to all your bum friends. Yeah, here's Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. You can have all the guys. You know what? We'll re-sign Malik Turner and let him play too.
Yeah.
And we'll give you Billy Turner and all the other bums you brought to New York with you. Ah!
Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Superman. He thinks he's special. And who knows? Maybe this cutting-edge surgery is the greatest thing we've ever known.
I'm not doubting that he could play. I'm not doubting that in any way. I'm asking, but for why? What exactly do you think you're going to prove here? Name me one thing that's pro-Jets here. I got Aaron Rodgers. Oh, look, I came back faster than anybody. I'm bionic. In my ayahuasca journey, I went into a dark pit with a rock and a possum and a friend that's a gopher. And he told me how to heal this. Ah, God, I hate this team so much. I hate that I love them.
If you got a shot to run the table and make the playoffs.
You'd still miss it. You would still miss the playoffs.
But he's still going to do it, I bet.
Well, you can't run the table because you can't play this way. And they're going to find some stupid way to beat Atlanta. And then the hype train's going to start all over again.
We're stuck in this never-ending cycle of Jets football. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
I think I would be better being addicted to recreational drugs than I am being addicted to the New York Jets.
Right.
It'd hurt way less. I'd tell you that much. It would hurt way less.
Do we have any games for you to wager on tonight?
No.
There's nothing.
No, we got nothing. Because I'm not doing NBA play-in tournament or in-season tournament or whatever it is.
All right. Well, we've taken care of the breaking news with the practice window being opened for Aaron Rodgers. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue the discussion of how you save your job, because there's 3 in one division that, well, they should probably just be gone right now. Kickoff, let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites.
Dinner's ready.
And the leftovers. With top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Final days to save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
Sarles Garage and Service is your one-stop car care, offering alignments, oil changes, brakes, North Carolina inspections. Call 926-0385 to schedule your appointment with excellent customer service to handle all your automotive needs. Enjoy a delicious meal while you wait at J Creek Cafe. Michael Sarles Marathon, your one-stop shop servicing Waynesville and Maggie Valley.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40 pill special for just $99.
Call 800-BUY-BLUE. 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 That's 800-BUY-BLUE. Paid for by Steel Man Pills.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now, every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Head coaches on the hot seat. There's a bunch of them. And we've been talking about how do you save your job. And I feel like there shouldn't be much of a path for a couple of the coaches from the NFC South to save their jobs. Obviously, Frank Reich has no chance because he's done gone with the Carolina Panthers. Todd Bowles, if he wins another division, do you do that again?
I'm not sure that every coach in this division doesn't get fired regardless.
Right. Same thing with
Dennis Allen.
With Dennis Allen in New Orleans.
I mean, they all should be fired. None of them should be safe. I don't care if you win the division or not. These are all train wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
One of you is just going to be the king of the train wrecks, and that doesn't really mean much for me. But the path to all of them is the exact same. Win the division.
Yeah.
And then you have something to hang your hat on. You'll have to fire one of your coordinators, and you'll make it another year.
And God forbid.
Which means the winner of this division is really the loser.
Yeah. God forbid it ends up being my team.
It will not be your team.
And that would be terrible.
I genuinely think your team is going to lose to the Carolina Panthers this week.
Really?
Yeah. You're not good. You're not good. I've told you that all year long.
All right.
I may break out the prayer of, I don't ask for much. I don't. I'm a simple man of simple means. But a Carolina Panther victory over Tampa Bay would just make me so happy.
It's weird. It's so weird.
I detest Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
He's the only quarterback in the NFL that's blocked me on Twitter.
It's all about
He
him.
got really tired of me just going, you suck, on a weekly basis.
If that doesn't happen, I mean, that would be back-to-back division championships for Todd Bowles, and that would put him
yeah, that's
firmly
the reason.
in the
That's
seat.
the reason you shouldn't use division titles or Pro Bowls
No
to
doubt.
justify coaches or players.
No doubt. I agree with you. You should just scrap this whole division.
The other two that I wanted to talk about, the two New York guys. I would say Robert Saleh is Aaron Rodgers opening the practice window. That happened before the show, or as the show was happening. So I had no ability to react to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a path that they're going to let him go.
No.
I really don't.
As long as he has Aaron's ear.
If I told you one of the New York coaches got fired, one of the three,
mm-hmm.
whether it was Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, Sean McDermott, which one would you bet your money on?
Sean McDermott.
Me too. It is me too.
Yeah, if they miss the playoffs,
they're going to miss the playoffs.
I put him down on my hot seat list because I believe that, I mean, depending on how the end of the season goes, if it looks terrible, which little hope after the Philadelphia game, right? I said that on yesterday or Monday. But if it goes horribly the rest of this season, there's no chance that you're hanging on to him. You still feel like you have a window, or you should feel like you have a window. And he hasn't gotten you there yet, so he's got to be the one. Brian Daboll was just coach of the year last year. I'm not firing him.
It depends on if it's as bad behind closed doors as I hear.
I mean, I guess
a lot
if
of
they're
Giant
fighting,
fans have tried to tell me, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." Well, it's not me that's saying it. I'm the mouthpiece that's repeating what other people can't say.
Right. Well, I mean, if there's internal strife with the coach and the GM or the ownership or whatever, then yeah, that would factor into it. A bad season plus the bad relationships. Sure, I could see that going that way. But just with product on the field, I mean, I don't know. Part of me just feels like you shouldn't bail on that guy after one real bad injury-plagued year.
Sir Jimothy in our YouTube comments said, "Can we replace the teams in the NFC South and just bring in 4 from the USFL?" I would love to see a Memphis Showboats, Houston Gamblers division.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
It'd be a lot more palatable than watching Arthur Smith and Todd Bowles yell at which one of them's worse. No, I'm the idiot. Then you get Todd Bowles with his somebody pooped face. Just
Florida State's back in the college football playoff. Well, the top four anyway. We'll break it all down coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed 1 layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
'Tis the season when you're in the mood for holiday music. Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station. Brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingalls Markets.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can also see us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat, get your thoughts in on the college football playoff. We turn our attention to the college game because the final college football playoff ranking of the regular season came out last night, and Michigan's won. Georgia's 1, Michigan's 2. You got Washington at 3, and Florida State jumping back into the top 4. Oregon's at 5. Ohio State, after the Michigan loss, falls to 6. There's lots of different ways that this could go down with championship games this weekend.
Is there, though?
There's anything's possible, right? There's mathematical paths to several things.
Divine miracles are possible too. They're just not very likely.
Right. More than likely, I feel like, obviously, winner of the Washington-Oregon game. They're in.
No doubt.
Georgia, Michigan, Florida State. It's not a given with Florida State.
It's a given.
Is it? Are you no doubt that much better
bet my house on it.
Than Louisville you would?
I bet my
okay.
No. You're not listening to what I'm saying. They could easily lose to Louisville.
Yes.
If you win, you're in.
Oh, no doubt.
Do not give me. I saw ESPN last night as they were unveiling the bracket, and they were doing all these hypotheticals. As soon as you hit Florida State wins, that should go to 99%.
Mm-hmm.
There's no path they leave them out. Absolutely zero.
Yep.
And you can give me, well, but what are they now? I don't care. I don't care if half the team opts out. They're still in. Because the resume has to matter, or else why are we playing these games?
Mm-hmm.
And before you tell me, well, Alabama's better, well, they might be. You couldn't possibly know that any more than I do. This is a team that just needed 4th and 31 to beat Auburn. So calm down on how great Texas and Alabama are, okay? You want to be in that argument? Don't lose a game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Texas, you had your shot. You lost to the ghost of Christmas past at Oklahoma. Alabama, you had your shot. You lost at home. Tough cookies. I don't really care what you are right now. Florida State wins, they're in. Michigan wins, they're in. Georgia wins, they're in. Winner of the Pac-12 title game wins, they're in. But if one of those things doesn't happen, that's where it gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a narrative here that I haven't heard anybody say this. I'm going to tell you right now, it's exactly how I think this would go.
Okay.
Let's just in theory, let's say Georgia loses to Alabama in the SEC title game. And everybody else wins.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Michigan wins, they're in. Florida State wins, they're in.
Yeah.
Pac-12 winner wins, they're in. Who's 4? There is zero shot we agree on this.
Wow. Would it be Texas? Would the SEC?
For me, it's
would
for
the
me,
SEC
it's not.
get left out?
For me, it's not.
What do you think happens?
It's Georgia.
Regardless,
I think
of
Georgia's
not
in
having the
regardless of
championship.
what happens.
Wow. Okay.
If you keep talking about the eye test, which is what you remember when that first selection committee thing came out, and I told you they've painted themselves in a corner about resume.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say in Atlanta, Georgia, they play well, but Alabama's really good too. And Alabama beats them. You're telling me you think Alabama's better than they are? Really? This team that I'm going to say it again, needed a 4th and 31 miraculous, absolute buffoonery defensive call to beat Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting them in over Georgia? But wait, teacher, all year you have been telling me that the eye test tells you Georgia's better than everybody. Their resume was horrific. You still had them at 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is the corner I was telling you painted yourself into. 100%. This is exactly what I was trying to tell you. Because let's just, in theory, if Michigan loses, do they not get in? Michigan loses to Iowa. It's 6-3 or however in the world Iowa would beat them.
Right.
You're telling me you're going to let Texas in over Michigan? Really? You've had them 1 or 2 this entire time. They have the best win on the board.
Yeah.
And you're not going to let them in because they lost to Iowa. Really?
It sounds crazy.
To me, it sounds stupid.
Yeah,
Because if you're telling me you think that Texas or Alabama are better than Georgia or Michigan, I'm going to literally tell you need to have your damn head examined because you've lost your mind.
Right.
And so what does the season matter? And now this is a really moot point because we're going to 12 teams next year.
Mm-hmm.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about what that's going to look like.
But essentially, this would, this could be the de facto playoff here, right? You got the Washington-Oregon game, winner, and you're in.
That's a play-in. Yes.
Georgia-Alabama, winner, you're in.
I don't agree with that. Because to me, Alabama beats Georgia unless there is pure chaos.
Mm-hmm.
There is only one solution. Neither of them go. Either Georgia goes or neither of them go. Because basically with this conference championship thing, what you're telling me is that the only game that matters is the conference title game. That's dumb. That's dumb.
Well, it's a conference title game that, the conference championship matters, but you got there, right? And you win, so that matters, right?
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. In terms of what matters the most, what has this committee told you is number one with a bullet? We've had 36 teams make the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many of those have finished in the top 4 of strength of record?
How many is that?
32. You've told me for many years that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's not going to fall out of the top 4 losing that. Alabama's not going to get into it because Texas beat absolutely nobody, but they beat you. Florida State didn't beat anybody in large part. Their best win's LSU.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I've been trying to tell you this whole time, is you painted yourself into this corner. You did this to yourself. You did this to you. I have zero sympathy for you, College Football Playoff Committee, because I tried to warn you.
Yeah.
When you tell us all that the eye test is the end-all, be-all, which is the only reason that Michigan and Georgia were 1-2, neither one of them had the wins. Neither one of them did.
Mm-hmm.
But you had them 1-2. Why? Justify it. Because you can't use last year. You've told us that 5,000 times, that last year means nothing. We don't project forward. We don't project backwards. Okay, then the only thing you've got is the eye test.
Right.
Well, the eye test tells me no matter what happens in Atlanta at 3:30 on Saturday, Georgia's a better team than Alabama. And unless they beat them by 50, it's going to be really hard for you to prove me wrong on that. I'm going to re-reference that 4th and 31 against Auburn because I know that there's going to be an Alabama fan, maybe everybody Chris Womack, who knows, that comes at me and goes, well, if you win the SEC championship, that's got to matter. Why? Are you better than the Big Ten? Because if you say yes, I'm going to laugh at you until I probably pee in my pants on camera, and I really don't want to do that.
No.
Are you better than the Pac-12?
No.
No. Both of those conferences are deeper than you, and it's not even close. Your third best team is Ole Miss.
Right.
Or LSU, who couldn't stop the iHeart Asheville team. What do you want from me?
But better than the ACC, and that will be because to me, Florida State is the one. They're the one that everybody, or at least us, I'm not saying in the committee room, but they're the one that everybody's going to pick on. Obviously, because of the Jordan Travis thing, he's not there anymore. I'm not saying they shouldn't make it. I'm just saying when the conversation comes up, that's going to be the target for everybody.
But the who's on the field doesn't matter. You're putting in the most deserving team. You have said that since we started this.
I get it.
The most deserving team would be an undefeated Florida State. They make it, they're in, period. Mm-hmm. There is no discussion in that.
But if the eye test is that much, if the eye test weighs that much, then they should be able to, if they can just say, okay, screw it. Georgia's in regardless.
You went undefeated in the Power 5 conference.
Florida State's out of it.
You went undefeated in the Power 5 conference.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you're going that much on eye test, there's been a couple years where you had a 2-loss SEC team that should have been in this.
Yeah, I agree.
But you didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So were you lying then or are you lying now? Because one way or the other, there's going to be a huge inconsistency in this.
And we're all just victims of the moment, right? The College Football Playoff Committee, true or false, them screwing up the Final Four is the only way that this can go down, right? I mean, if there's chaos, just completely booting the final one before we go to 12 is the perfect way to end it.
So how do they, just in theory, because you said that, how do they boot this?
Oh, I did.
For me, there's only one answer.
If you have massive chaos and you end up throwing Florida State out, keeping Georgia in, I don't know, throwing Alabama in there somehow, there's a number of ways that I could see this going off the rails.
Well, the argument against Florida State is they have the weakest strength of schedule of any of the teams up here.
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to hang your hat on that, as long as you don't bring up they don't have their quarterback, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
This is based on deserving, not who's the best.
Right.
Because we've never done who's the best. We've done who is the most deserving. They win, they're in.
Mm-hmm.
The only way, to me, that you can completely boo-boo kitty this is if Ohio State finds a way in. Ohio State gets in this, you did it wrong, period. Because there's no path.
Mm-hmm.
There is zero path for me that Ohio State gets into this thing.
Even if Michigan loses to Iowa, you wouldn't rank them behind Ohio State because they've got the head-to-head win.
Correct.
Okay. Georgia loses to Alabama, same thing. They're too high at 1. You wouldn't drop them to 7.
You've told me they were better than Ohio State all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose in a game that Ohio State didn't even get to, and you're going to tell me that means that Ohio State's better than them? That is a cyclical logic that I don't even kind of understand.
Right. Washington, Oregon is a play-in,
mm-hmm.
and then Florida State, I guess, they don't look good against Louisville. Maybe would be the only argument there of it's just terrible. It's a 13-12 game.
If they win, I don't care if they win this game 4-3.
I get it, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to think of the path for Ohio State to jump over Florida State.
Well, they put them at 6. I mean, the path is insanely clear. Alabama beats Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's Alabama beats Georgia, Florida State loses, Ohio State winds up in this thing. You mark my words. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know who they'll cut out.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to get in because Ohio State shouldn't have been at 6.
Mm-hmm.
If all of those things matter, the team that's not, and that's where I've always kind of fallen short on we don't project forward. Well, you should, because, see, this is where that kind of comes into play. Because what you just said is that these teams are better, or that Ohio State's better than Texas, Ohio State's better than Alabama. So how in the world is Texas going to pass them? What, because they beat an Oklahoma State team that was just trailing to BYU 34-7? That's the win that makes you go, well, I mean, Texas is the Big 12 champion. It's the worst conference in Power 5 football. It's not close.
Right. Alabama beats Georgia, though. I mean, they would put them over Ohio State. Not in the playoff, but
I would think so. If Alabama were to beat Georgia, I think they would shoehorn them in there somehow.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Not that they should, but they will.
I'm sure they would. They'd rank Alabama 4th and Georgia falls to 5.
That's the chaos theory for me.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of chaos, here's what you should be rooting for. Michigan loses to Iowa. Texas wins. Florida State wins. I'll say Washington wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like the committee just wants to put Oregon in. The only reason that they can't do it is because Washington already beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you felt that way, but I felt that way this entire time. They think Oregon's better. They're just not putting them in because they have a loss.
They've got the head-to-head
in a game
win
that they had no reason of losing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alabama beats Georgia. Because that's pure chaos. We all sit down at our television screens at noon on Sunday and just go, we'll see.
Yeah.
I have no clue what they're about to say.
I don't know. I mean, Florida State, the Jordan Travis thing, it matters to fans, but it shouldn't matter to the committee. And I don't think it will. Because we've done this before, right?
It's never mattered before.
We've done this with Ohio State. That's the one that comes to my mind, right? The Cardell Jones year. They lose their quarterback. Granted, Cardell had a hell of a run. What did he have, the last 2 games of the season? And was amazing in the Big Ten championship game, and then they went on to win a national championship. So, I mean, losing your quarterback, you can...
We've been here before. This is not new.
Exactly. That's the point. We've been here before. I just think everybody's going to have, the fans are not going to be as pleased with it if you have a gross-looking Florida State team going into the college football playoff, and then there again you have, it's the college football playoff as usual. We got 3 contenders and one that's just going to get matered.
I don't disagree with you. Now, the thing I'm curious of is, let's let's look into the old crystal ball. What is next year going to look like? Because driving in this morning, I started thinking about this, and I've flip-flopped on how I feel about the 12-team thing, and now I think I've got a definitive lean. It took a little soul-searching, but I found it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
The Ingalls Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingalls locations, donate online, or at the Ingalls Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingalls Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
Hi, I'm Dina Clark from the Music Academy and Rock Academy of Asheville. I'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude to all of our clients and partners over the years and to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Wishing you and yours a happy holiday season and all the best for the new year. Come see us in 2024. Happy holidays from The Station at 100 Cherry Street in Black Mountain.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Take an extra 30% off gift ideas from designers they'll love. And 15% off beauty, skincare, and fragrance gift sets when you use your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals like women's holiday dresses, $150 and under. Plus, shop the season's hottest toys. From Monster High, Discovery, and more, 10 to 50% off. Download the free Macy's app for more savings at Macy's. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
So next year, we'll have a 12-team playoff for the college football championship. How different is it going to look? What should the format be? We've gone round and round about this. Should there be the 7-5 model? Should it be the 6-6 model?
Well, the 5-5's already been agreed to, so that's we're done there.
What?
It's 5 and 7. That's no doubt. That's where it's going to be.
Okay.
That part's already decided, and it really only took this year for you to go. Well, the Pac-12 dies next year, so do we really want Liberty and Tulane in this thing? Because that's how that would go.
Right. So at this point, or next year, it will be one of the group of 5.
Yes.
Conference members
right now
getting an automatic bid?
Now it would be Tulane. If Tulane were to lose to SMU, it would probably be Liberty. Which, man, I'm glad we negotiated that in.
Yeah,
because I can't wait to watch the Liberty Flames get beat 742-6 by Michigan.
But they're an undefeated team. They need a bite at the apple, don't they?
No.
Yeah,
there's only one fair in life, and it shows up in your town once a year, and it's got Ferris wheels and funnel cakes. And I don't like that one either.
Right. So, what changes?
I will fight this to my dying day.
Okay.
After I've realized it, I will fight this forever. This upcoming week has to go away. Championship weekend, bye. See ya. Do you realize how completely irrelevant this weekend will be next year? Let's just go game by game.
Mm-hmm.
The first one's Friday. You got Oregon, Washington. Who cares?
They're both in.
Who cares? Well, one of them gets a bye. Okay. And the other one gets to play who's 10 right now? Penn State. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're terrified, just quaking in their boots about having to play Penn State. And they get to play them at home. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. The winner of the conference is Washington. You two played head-to-head. End of message, repeat the line.
Yep.
Louisville, Florida State. Okay, I guess that has a little intrigue because if Louisville wins, they're in. If they win, they're in. If they lose, they're out.
Right.
But even if they win, you do realize that means Louisville would get a bye in this thing, right? So now, when you logistically look at this, it starts to become way more, oh, God, that's awful. So Florida State loses their quarterback. Now their whole year is irrelevant because they lost to Louisville in the ridiculous ACC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So now Louisville gets a bye, and guess who they catch? I played this out. They'd get whoever lost that Pac-12 game. Or whoever wins. So whoever loses the Pac-12 title game doesn't get the bye. They would have to play in the first round, and then they play Louisville. I don't care about playing Louisville. You lost to Pittsburgh, you could have lost to Miami, and you just lost to Kentucky.
Right.
That team gets a home playoff game and a bye because you win a meaningless game in Charlotte that nobody cares about.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State, Texas, same thing as the ACC. Texas in regardless. Oklahoma State gets in if they're in, and they would get a bye, which is disgusting. That's a team that was just down by 30 to BYU.
It's always been this way, though, right?
Not like this, no. I mean, because Oklahoma State could beat Texas by 943 points. They're not getting into a 14 playoff.
No, that's true.
It just doesn't matter. You've got 3 losses. You're irrelevant.
Right. I guess I keep looking at, the bowl games, right? The
bowl games are now completely irrelevant.
Oh, of course they are. But what I'm saying is New Year's 6 games, we've done this for years, right? Somebody pulls an upset in a championship game. They get the automatic bid.
But nobody cares. Nobody's cared since we've had a playoff.
I get it.
Have you seen the ratings for some of these games? They're god-awful.
No doubt.
Notre Dame played Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago. Nobody watched it.
But will the conferences get rid of the championship games?
I highly doubt it. It's another way to make money.
Exactly.
But here's what I will fight that you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of all these stupid bowl games. Get rid of all of them. None of them matter.
Mm-hmm.
None of them matter. If you either keep the ancillary bowl games, get rid of the championship games, or vice versa. I don't see any reason to keep them both. Oh, well, they make money. Do they? Do they really? I mean, watch through the bowl season of how many people show up.
Yeah.
To the, I keep using the Cheez-It Bowl. How many people show up to the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares. The only reason the administration shows up is because they have to.
My question has to be, if it didn't make money, would they still do it? And the reason that we have 40
if
of
it was
these bowl
anybody
games,
but the NCAA, I'd say no.
Maybe. And here's the thing, I don't know. But the bowl games, while they don't have the luster right for the average fan, we don't care who's playing in the Camellia Bowl. But that does mean something to those schools, and it means something to Mobile, Alabama, or wherever they play that game. It's going to matter for that local community. To the level, I don't know. But I imagine that we're seeing more and more businesses step away from these bowl games, from doing the big sponsorships, because they're not getting the bang for the buck that they used to, right? The Outback Bowl doesn't have the ring that it did in 1996 whenever your
irrelevant.
school was playing in it.
It's completely irrelevant.
Right. Those bowls used to mean something to some fan bases, and now it doesn't mean anything to anybody because more than likely, even if you end up in that bowl, your players who are any good are going to sit out of it. They're not going to play in it.
So I pulled up an article from 24/7 Sports.
Okay.
Projecting all of the bowl matchups. You stop me when I get to one that's even kind of intriguing. West Virginia, Syracuse in the Armed Forces Bowl. UCF and USF in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Ooh.
Let's see. Utah and Maryland in the Las Vegas Bowl. No, still didn't do anything for you.
No.
Duke and Kentucky in the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yay.
Yeah, and I know something. I hate knowing things. Let's see. Kansas Northwestern in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Keep going. No, you don't have to. If you want to stop now, you can.
Virginia Tech and USC in the Sun Bowl. Yeah. Oh, I keep doing this. They don't get better.
No.
Because you get all the way to the Holiday Bowl, which used to be like, okay, this is the first one where anybody cares. Do you know what it would be? Clemson and Oregon State.
Yikes.
They could play
Actually, that could be interesting with DJ if he plays.
Okay.
Right?
So
I don't know. I mean, that's at least a storyline that I've pulled out of any of these games.
Literally half of Clemson's roster will opt out.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State doesn't have a coach. I mean, they do. It's their defensive coordinator who they just promoted. And you're telling me the reason you would watch this is, well, because DJ Uiagalelei gets to play where he started.
Maybe.
Every one of these guys transfers 3 times. Why do I care?
It's the only thing
Tyler Shuck is in the transfer portal right now for, I think, the 17th time.
Is he really?
Yeah. 7th year. That's fun. Aren't we glad that we got here?
Lots of people go to college for 7 years.
Yeah, they're called doctors. They're not mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, the ancillary bowls, absolutely, you could do away with them. Most of us wouldn't care. If it still makes money for you and you could still get Middle Tennessee State to show up for the Gasparilla Bowl, then congratulations, you go do that.
Well, what got me thinking about this was Joel Klatt mentioned this, and Gus Johnson during the broadcast of Michigan-Ohio State, of this game's never going to be the same. And they're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never have another one that's a play-in to the playoffs. No, it's a home field. The winner of this game gets home field in the college football playoff because they're both going to be in every single year.
Maybe. I mean, you have that scenario like Louisville and Florida State this year. Louisville loses, they're out. It's a win and you're in kind of thing on some level.
Ohio State's lost 3 regular season games to anybody not named Michigan in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? That still puts you in. Where we're sitting right now, 3 lost teams would get in.
Mm-hmm.
There's no intrigue to that. That rivalry just gets diminished because now I can't keep you out. That was why Michigan celebrated so much. It wasn't just because they beat Ohio State. It's because we ended your season.
Yeah.
You don't get into the Big Ten title game, you're now completely irrelevant to the playoff. Barring something goes just absolutely haywire. And so now I flip-flopped all the way back to, you know what, we did this wrong. It's too many teams. 12 is too many.
12 is too many. We need to go back to 8.
Because I got here going, well, 4 is not enough because you're going to have a team that's left out that probably has a case. Not a 4 team. Ohio State has no case. Texas has no case. Alabama has no case if everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't? You've always had a 5th team that you could go, well, they kind of got housed here. So I wish we'd gone to 6 or 8. I liked the premise of 12 for one season, and then I got to this point and went, oh, joy, Tulane and Alabama. I can't wait to not watch that.
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Texas. Woo! Not going to be a lot of defense played in that particular game.
You know you'd watch every second of it.
Well, that's because everything else on television is awful. As long as I would be excited about it.
You're in a Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed 1 layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40 pill special for just $99.
Call 800-BUY-BLUE. 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 That's 800-BUY-BLUE. Paid for by Steel Man Pills.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Jeremy, you like to tell stories about a certain female in your past that used to, abuse your furniture.
Tanya.
Old Tanya putting her cigarettes out on your couch. That is Jeremy's way of just, illustrating that there are people that will go to great lengths, right, to punish you or to get back at you if they think you've wronged them in some way.
Her house had wheels, folks. That's convenient. Let's go.
A Florida woman is now behind bars after, I believe you could have put her in some kind of Saint Hall of Fame if the only thing she did was put cigarettes out on this guy's couch. Sandra Jimenez is behind bars for aggravated battery after she attacked her boyfriend. And she says that, or at least the police say, she told them that she attacked him because he was looking at other women. Not that he had talked to another woman, not that he had, made a pass at another woman, but he was looking at another woman. She stabbed him in the eye with a needle that had been used to vaccinate her dog against rabies. That story got weirder at every turn.
It did.
It was just,
there were a lot of...
First off, stabbing a guy for just looking at somebody that's a lot. Stabbing him in the eye, that's a little aggressive. Okay, you used a needle that was used. Okay, now this is crazy, but now it was used on a dog.
That went weird, weirder, weirdest.
Just absolutely insane. She said, or the guy said, he came into the house. They got into the argument. She jumped on him. He fell onto the couch, and then all of a sudden, he just felt a sharp pain in his eye. She stabbed him through the eyelid into the eye with the needle that I guess she had just given the rabies shot to the dog. Now I'd have great questions about, what does that mean? Does that mean I have rabies now? Do I have to go through the treatments?
That's not how that works.
You never know.
Never know.
Afraid of vaccines. I don't like
That's not how vaccines work. And after 2020, I'm not shocked that you're that confused because general public seem to be as well. My story is about a young woman. Her name's Ashley. Catch her side. And yes, that name is going to be greatly ironic here in just a minute.
Catch her side.
She lives in the great state of Texas, and she was employed by the Godly Texas School District.
Okay.
Well, that was her day job. Apparently she had a night job that didn't really link up with her daily activities, because her name was Lola, and she was a showgirl.
She was a showgirl.
Her name was Lola Brea, and she had active listings on multiple escort sites. I was today years old when I learned that escorting is legal in the state of Texas, as long as you charge for companionship and time and not for sexual things. That feels like an accounting thing at most.
That's a gray area.
Well, I charge for the companionship. The other thing is just fun.
We just chalk that up to personal time.
That's what I'll do on my own time what I want to. What I charge for is completely irrelevant. Now, I told all of these things, and none of this is really all that ironic, that a woman would work for a school system and at night she was, doing stuff, until you find out what her job was in the school system. Would you like to take a stab at it?
Nurse.
Nope.
Was she the Christian curriculum leader?
No, she was the director of the sex education department.
Oh, well, I mean, that you should have known that.
Including advising the school on what's appropriate grade level and method for human sexuality instruction within.
Ms. Davis, did you go prom with me?
God, I just realized you look like Billy Bob's formerly fat little brother, and I'm never going to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's my question. How did you not find this on a background check? Do you know how long it took me to find Miss Lola on the interwebs?
How long?
And now I'm an interwebman, so I'm pretty good at computer things.
Mm-hmm.
It took me roughly 7 seconds, because she has a YouTube page that focuses on all of the services that she provides.
Really?
Yes.
What would you want to link that account, please?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Just looking at her Instagram, I'm going to go out on a limb and say she's done just fine in her life.
Well, good for her.
And I would wager her OnlyFans will be coming sometime by the end of the show, if I were a betting man.
She doesn't have one already. She needs one.
Kelvin Joyner in the YouTube comments, that might be comment of the day. He said, well, at least she's qualified. She is an expert.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You got lots of experience.
Hey, it's better than the people that taught me sexual education, because I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't know because they've never seen them do it.
I was gonna say that was one of the reasons that many kids were celibate, was because they had to learn from people who you didn't want to do that with.
Listen here, Mr. Mackey, I don't believe you're the best person to instruct me on how to do that. You are probably a better person to instruct me on how to defrag my computer, install a pocket protector, play World of Warcraft.
Right.
I can keep doing this.
I think I would rather have been stabbed in the eye with a rabies needle than to be taught sex ed by some of the people that taught us in our classes.
Oh, no doubt. See, that's a job that I would be perfectly equipped for, except for the fact that I don't like children. So that's a problem.
It's a giant problem.
Frankly, if I ever committed crimes and they wanted to punish me, forcing me to teach in a public high school, I'd rather have the needle. I genuinely, you know what? Do we still do the electric chair? Because I'll take that right now.
I was going to say, letting you teach sex ed in a high school would be the perfect way to ensure that crimes are about to happen.
Oh, no, I would do no crimes. However.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to finish that. I'm going to let you. You know what? This is one of those times, unlike Matt Rife, I'm going to let you tell your own joke.
Indeed.
I just watched his stand-up special.
Did you enjoy that?
Horror awful.
Yeah, he's not.
I mean, genuinely, and I love the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to find a way to mention this because it rubbed me so wrong as a comedian that he was so upset that people had called him just a crowd participation person. I'd kill to be able to interact with crowds like that. I'm too stupid to do that. I have 50 minutes of material. I walk up there. If you say anything, there's a great possibility I'm going to go, hey, could you shut up? Because I remember everything on this piece of paper right here, and it's real hard to look at. I can only take so many swigs of water without, drowning or needing more.
Right.
But, whew, you talk about just horrific writing jokes.
I have never heard him do a solid joke where he's supposed to start the joke and end the joke, right? It's a full story. The best things I've ever seen from him is when he's going back and forth off the cuff with people in the audience. And that's hilarious.
It
is great.
That's hilarious. What you did here, you ought not do that, because that is. Amy and I just looked at each other like, whoa. You remember the time you came to see me? I was doing stand-up, and there was somebody that performed in front of me that was not great.
No.
It was that cringy.
That's bad. Now I feel like I have to watch it, which I shouldn't, but I'm gonna.
Well, the only thing that I will tell you is if you can make it all the way to the end, he does some troll things where he uses things that people have said to him on the internet, and that reverts back to, hey, look, I am funny.
Yeah.
Just not this way.
Yeah.
Not telling the real cringy joke that makes you go, oh, I need a bath.
Yeah. It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, and the college football season ended. The regular season ended this past week. We had lots of ups and downs throughout the season, but the most disappointing thing in college football this year, Jeremy, what's your number one?
The number one most disappointing. I'll go Texas A&M.
Okay.
They're just awful. And they're always awful.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be awful. Money doesn't make you smart. And they ran into that problem. It doesn't matter how well you recruit. I'll guarantee you that team is going to get hemorrhaged in the transfer portal. Because I saw a story making this big deal about how many of these guys Mike Elko already knew. Well, if he already knows them, they have to be juniors. And, I understand that the NCAA now, guys can stay in college for, a decade.
Right.
But, is he going to be able to put a team together that way? All these kids, these young kids, they had nothing to do with him. He's already gone to Duke. And then I listened to his whole, we're going to build the best program in America, and I went, I believe I've heard this. I think I heard Dennis Francione say that. Pretty confident I heard Jimbo Fisher say that. Kevin Sumlin said it a multitude of times. None of you ever succeeded.
Yep. But Mike
now
Elko,
you don't have Texas all to yourself.
Yeah, Mike Elko, he may be different. He may be the one that's going to turn that all around.
Mike Elko's fine. But just I feel like Texas A&M should be on conversation probation until they do something that makes them relevant, which is, make the playoff, which means basically I just killed them.
I would say play for a conference title first before you can even think about college football playoff. They hadn't played for a conference title, obviously, since they've been in the SEC, and I think it was 1999 or 1998 before that they played for a conference title. They think they're elite. They think they're Ohio State elite. They think they're Alabama elite. The problem is they're not even at the top of the second tier of the elite teams and programs in college football. I would have to say my number one disappointment of the season has been Caleb Williams and how that has just gone awry. Right? He was the god of college football coming in, a defending Heisman Trophy winner, greatest prospect ever.
I had that school, but not him.
Really?
I'm not going to lie. I never really saw – if you think back to all the times we talked about Caleb Williams leading up to this, did you notice that I never said I viewed him as a generational prospect?
Yeah.
I was always really sure to say people view him that way. All the way back to Oklahoma, I didn't see that. I mean, I saw a good player that played in a gimmicky offense. So I don't know that I'm that disappointed in him. Plus, he's still going to be the first quarterback to come off the board. If he's not, he will be a very close too. And he's going to have to bomb the combine because the public narrative is so high on him that if you bypass him to take Drake May better be a top 5 quarterback in this league. Because even if Caleb Williams crashes into the ocean, you're not going to get a pass on that. You're not. And if you want me to prove that, one of the closest that I remember over the last handful of years that people were so divided on was Justin Fields. Do you know how often I have people tell me, I bet you wish the Jets drafted Justin Fields? No, I don't. We would be in the exact same position with a running back playing quarterback. No, I'm good. This one at least could throw occasionally. Every once in a while I can see him throw a dime. Now, usually it's to the other team, which that's unfortunate. But he's going to be a really tough eval.
Yeah.
The psych on him is going to be a big deal. The mental, all of those things. Mine would have been Lincoln Riley.
Okay.
Because I'm officially to the point of we're done with this, right? We can stop playing this fun little game with him of if he's some elite coach. He's really not.
I don't know. I mean, I still feel like he's a good coach. I still feel like, I mean, he's what, this is the first year or second year at USC?
Let's play a game.
Give him some time, maybe. I don't know.
Let's play a game. I have their schedule for next year in front of me. Now,
Yes.
I do not know I do know what order they're going to play these in. This is in order. They start the season with LSU. They're playing in that kickoff classic that Florida State played in this year. Scattered, smothered, covered, diced, chunked. Utah State, they'll be a win. You get a bye week. Then you play in the big house against Michigan. Good luck with that one. Wisconsin, Minnesota, that's winnable. Penn State at Maryland, Rutgers. Washington, Nebraska at UCLA, Notre Dame. That has 7-5 written all over it if I've ever seen it. And it may be worse than that. Because you're getting ready to go into a conference that plays defense real, real good. And you play defense real, real bad. Did you hear the story that they were really disappointed that Baylor didn't fire Dave Aranda?
Really?
Oh, shoot. That was who we were going to hire. He was not taking your job under any circumstances. Unless you paid him $1 bajillion, there's no way he was taking your job. Oh, great. I get to go back into the Big Ten with a barren cupboard of defensive players. This will be fun.
For what team?
USC.
Oh. They wanted to make him the DC?
DC. They thought he was going to get fired at Baylor. And in my head, I was thinking, doesn't it make a lot more sense that he would go to one of those Big Ten schools that has, I don't know, Big Ten defensive talent?
Yeah.
Hey, I want another bite at the apple, so I'm going to go over here where everybody has failed. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. It's not a good idea.
Oh, there's one we haven't mentioned that has been just Deion Sanders in Colorado. And that was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? And people keep telling me, oh, he's going to be just fine. Is he, though? I want you to think about something that I'm Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator that was why I thought this was going to work. I saw that he hired Sean Lewis, Charles Kelly, who was the DC at Florida State. I never liked him, but he was at least a known entity. Tim Brewster, who's one of the best recruiters in the country. Couple other guys. And then there were like the Pat Shermers and a few others that, well, they're smart guys. They're not college guys, but they're smart guys. Do you realize that none of those guys are going to be on that staff next year? That should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Sean Lewis, the new head coach at San Diego State. They didn't even mess around. They just went, come on, you come here. Because you made that offense doing special things at one time. Then the fact you had no offensive lineman killed you. Also, check the recruiting wire for how many of those high-level recruits have already bailed on him.
Was it 8?
It was 8 as of this morning.
Yeah.
Both of your quarterbacks in the next 2 classes. There's a reason for that. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying there's a rumor out there that it could happen. that Shedeur and Travis Hunter have already been contacted by just a whole mess of schools. You're not going to win at Colorado next year. You're not. I mean, if Deion cares about those two kids as much as he says he does, and I don't doubt that he does, let them go somewhere they can win. You're so far away. You're so in over your skis. It is pitiful.
Yeah.
And nobody has the huevos to say that because you're Deion Sanders and everybody loves you, and you get some super kooky Madukis that will come out and say that you're a whole mess of things if you come out against Deion Sanders. I got news for you. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I've never been happier in my life that Florida State didn't do something than giving Deion Sanders that job.
It all started out great, right?
Coach.
It all started out great when he was 3-0.
And I want to draw a comparison, and I will dare anybody that thinks I'm wrong to tell me where the discrepancy in this is. Josh Dobbs. As soon as I got tape on you, this was the easiest thing to stop on the planet. It's not because you didn't have talent. Shedeur's still good. Travis Hunter's still good. You don't have any linemen. People figured out 3 weeks in the season, send 6 constantly. Don't stop doing it. Send the house every play. And Shedeur is not developed enough to not understand, to not turn his back to the line. He was getting killed. That's exactly what happened. And then he got hurt. Deion, I think he's a great guy. And I think he's a master marketer. He's not a good coach. And it's one thing to not be a good coach. You can be a good CEO. Mac Brown has made a living doing this. But you have to hire really well, and you have to defer to your coaches. He doesn't do that. He threw Sean Lewis under the bus. Syracuse would have killed to hire him. He wouldn't take their call, and it was because he wanted to stay on the West Coast. San Diego State, they didn't interview anybody else. They went to Sean Lewis and went, us. Come here. You replaced Brady Hoke. We'll be good again. I should tell you everything you need to know. And any coach that has options is going to look at Deion and go, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with your bravado. I don't have to deal with you throwing me under the bus the first time something goes wrong. Tim Brewster's gone now. That's a Florida State guy. Tim Brewster's a guy that Deion Sanders, I believe, has known for 30 years. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best recruiter in the country.
Mm-hmm. It was fun while it lasted. I mean, the next year's going to be a big year, right? See how if he can reload in the offseason. I don't like his chances. I didn't believe in it to begin with. I didn't think he was going to come in here and set the Pac-12 on fire. He went 3-0, and I kept saying, y'all need to just hold off on this. And what happened? The exact thing that I thought was going to happen. They get into conference play, and they got Clemsoned. Basketball, not football. They just got steamrolled.
Fell apart.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Daily Draft is coming up next.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Have you taken advantage of your dental benefits for 2023? Make your appointment now to get in before December 31st at Summit Dental. Most dental insurance covers 2 cleanings and exams a year. Contact Summit Dental now to take full advantage of your plan. Summit Dental also has a full range of professional services, from crowns and fillings, implants, teeth whitening, and more. Plus, they're accepting new patients. Visit AshevilleSummitDental.com and schedule your appointment now to get in before the end of the year.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instance for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites.
Dinner's ready.
And the leftovers. With top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Final days to save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed one layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
'Tis the season when you're in the mood for holiday music. Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station. Brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingalls Markets.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand-name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
What I was told was bone on bone. I was going to have knee replacement, and I do not like surgery.
Desperate to avoid surgery, Julie decided to check out QC Kinetics non-surgical regenerative treatments.
My daughter actually works in a Chapel Hill, North Carolina lab, and I sent her all of the information that I was given, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, this is for you. I've heard great things about this." She's like, "You need to try it before ever doing surgery."
Julie started the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments right in the office, using her own healing properties to help restore her damaged tissue.
I know, my daughter was right. Yeah, it's nice when you've got that person you can go to who might have a little bit more information, especially on the science of it. QC Kinetics, it's life-changing.
Find out if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us everywhere on the YouTube stream. Subscribe to the channel and join us in the chat each and every day. Also, Jeremy is throwing the links out there in the YouTube chat for the new Jets t-shirt that he created.
I'm also taking recommendations of what team should I do next.
just illustrating all of the pain that he has suffered over the years as a Jets fan.
It's got the Jets logo on the front. It says pain. Underneath it says Jets going Jet. And on the back, it has the butt fumble and the fake spike and Rex Ryan's foot fetish and all the draft busts, all of the things that have made me sad over the years. I will be doing a whole series of those with all the bad teams, but I need to know who to do next. Yes. Carolina, you're looking pretty swift.
Yep.
So I believe that is probably the next one.
Also, if you have a 3 to 5 word submission for what should be on your team's shirt, submit that to us here in the Sportsocracy, and we'll see what we can do about putting that on the shirt. I mean, Casey's kickoff out of bounds has got to be one of the big ones.
I've got a lot of them for Carolina already.
Yes.
Washington, Cincinnati, Cleveland, the Giants. I was trying to think of all the ones that I've already got on the list. Just, if you're one of those that you like supporting the show, like pick up a shirt, shoot me a message, and I'll jump yours in line.
I just want one with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that just says 30 for 30 on the back for Jameis Winston. That's all I need.
Yeah, yours has a lot of stuff on it.
Steve Young, Bo Jackson, we got a lot.
I got to find because we don't make these. We have somebody else that makes them for us. I got to find somebody that's got that creamsicle colored shirt.
Yeah. Doug Williams.
The Jets was easy because everybody has a Kelly green and everybody's got a black, and Heather and all the grays.
Right.
Everybody has that. Your colors are weird.
Yeah. Todd Bowles.
He is certainly
number one.
Yeah, he's certainly on it.
A number one on the list. It is the top of the third hour of the program. It's daily draft time. Today's daily draft, since we've been talking in the first hour at least all about coaches and who's going to, get fired and who can save their jobs and all of that. Let's talk candidates here. I got first pick, and there is one name that's hotter than any other in the NFL coaching circles right now, and that is our very own Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, who is a graduate of A.C. Reynolds High School. And, this guy he's been climbing the ladder in the NFL for several teams for several years. And finally, he got his shot as the offensive coordinator with Detroit, and Detroit is very, very entertaining offensive team right now, even with limited weapons. You talk a lot about Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff's the quarterback, Amon-Ra St. Brown and a bunch of dudes. And you got a pretty good running game and a great offensive line to work with. I get it. But he's getting a lot of credit right now. He was up for some jobs last year. In fact, even said no to the Carolina Panthers last year. And he's the one name that's on everybody's tip of everybody's tongue right now.
He is a guy that is going to get a lot of opportunities if that's what he wants. He was my number one, but I'm not sure that I would have taken him number one. I'm not 100% dead set that he's going to take a job.
Really?
It started last year of I've got things to do and I'm not done here. And look, Ben's a comfortable guy. I mean, he was with the Dolphins for 10 years?
Something like that.
Through multiple coaching staffs. He's not somebody that's just going to jump because somebody calls and says, hey, you want our job? And I'm looking at some of there's one specifically. I think if Washington called, he would have to listen. Because they have so many weapons. That could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these others, I'm not sold. Like New England, Carolina. I'm trying to think of some of the others off the top of my head. I think Jim Harbaugh, I believe, is the number one call in L.A.
Mm-hmm. But if not,
Chicago, I'm not taking any of those.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm taking a job. Somebody asked me. I think it was Mark that asked me this morning. Was if the Panthers called Ben, is he answering the phone? And he'll answer the phone, but he's not going to agree to it.
I'll take the interview, but I'm not taking your job.
Right, exactly. Like I told you no last year, and there's nothing that you've done to prove to me that this has gotten better in a year. So, no, I'm not taking your job. I don't know. I mean, there's that whole thing of people want to look at, oh, he's the hometown kid. Maybe he comes back to save the franchise. No, sorry. That's a move that I reserve for when I'm established in this league. My first job is not going to be the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL, which is exactly what the Carolina Panthers are right now, with the worst owner in the league. David Tepper has now sunk to that level for me. So I'm not taking that job. But Ben should definitely take a job, I think, in this cycle. And if Jim Harbaugh tells L.A. no, I think that's the one that he would take. Who knows what else comes open?
I would tend to agree. But since you took Ben Johnson, I'll take the other very super unbelievably obvious one, and it's Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
I wouldn't really care who the team was. There's been a lot of talk about Carolina making a run at him. I don't think that's what 60-something-year-old Jim Harbaugh is going to want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I also will say that former NFL quarterbacks that maybe take a pause on that. You just had one of those. Didn't go so hot. I see Harbaugh with one of three teams. The Chargers are number one with a bullet.
Yep.
He played in Chicago, and I've always heard that he had a real fondness for Midwestern grinded out football. I could see if he got personnel control, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dark horse is New England. Ownership group is way too good.
I had not thought about that.
Ownership group's way too good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I think he would be patient with, that he has no actual tie to. But look, people forget he was a really good coach in the NFL. He went to a Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The undoing was him and Trent Baalke. They could not get along. And I think that's going to be a caveat of anywhere he goes. Of, I'm going to have personnel control. If you have to have somebody in that GM role, it's going to be somebody I pick. And not every team's going to agree to that.
Yeah.
I think Chicago would. Not sure the Chargers wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just depends on who it is.
Yeah. I think any team will be willing to give him whatever he wants to walk through that door. That's the only way I could see him ending up at a job like Chicago or like Carolina. Because he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go to a place like he went with, when he got to Michigan. Remember the climb to getting to being relevant again in the Big Ten with Michigan? They won, 7-8 games first couple of years, but it was a rough road. Do you think he wants to do that in the NFL? No, he wants to come in and compete immediately. So he's not leaving for any job that he doesn't get all of the power if it's a bad place.
Now, I have to make another pick.
Mm-hmm.
And this might seem a little weird because this guy doesn't even call plays, but from things I've been told around the league, he's not just going to get a job. He's going to have a pretty good choice of jobs around the league. It's Frank Smith, offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
He is real young. He is real smart. And I'm almost to the point of I would never hire a defensive coach, ever. I've got a couple on my list if this doesn't go exactly my way. I think you will take one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You might take two of them. There's only a handful even on the list. So, I'm going to take my crack at the young. He's in his early 40s. He's just
42.
a little – he's 42?
Yeah.
He's just a little older than Mike McDaniel, and he's been in that system. He's very creative. More of that scheme is coming from him than people think. And, I don't definitively know that. It's just been said by people around the Dolphins. And I think he will be a tremendous head coach. The only thing that makes me nervous is I don't know what those staffs are going to look like. You got to understand, that Kyle Shanahan tree has been splintered off so far
mm-hmm.
that it's hard for some of these guys to hire a staff. Now, some of them may come available if Robert Saleh gets let go by the Jets. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, then you got some more veteran guys there. But you could be in the same boat as Houston, where everybody's first time. But that's working out just fine.
Right.
So depending on the job, I think Frank Smith will be a home run hire for somebody.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll go back to the well here and go with another Detroit coach, Aaron Glenn.
Oh, that's funny. You took one that wasn't even on my list.
Really? What?
I love Aaron Glenn. I love him so much.
But
man, that defense has regressed. And the thing that bothers me is it's regressed in what is his specialty. He is a secondary guy. That's the thing that they have struggled with so much over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think he's a great coach. And obviously he's a Jack guy. I actually know him. I love him to death. I don't think that's who I'm hiring. If I'm dipping into the defensive coordinator well, I don't think that's who I'm hiring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that staff's going to look like. I don't think you're going to get a mass exodus from Dan Campbell. And I have that problem with Ben Johnson as well. I don't think you're going to get a lot of people that are jumping on board, even if they're getting a step up. Unless they're the coordinators, I think you're really going to struggle to get position coaches because nobody wants to leave.
Yeah.
They're looking at that division going, we could win this for the next 8 years easily.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pick my shot. And I just feel like Aaron's probably going to get the job where Ben and Frank Smith and Harbaugh and all the other offensive guys have said no.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that's going to work. I think I think he's a great coach. But I didn't have him very high on my list. He was one of the defensive coordinators I had.
Yeah. It gets to the point here where I'm kind of with coaches or coaching candidates anyway, like I am with Hall of Famers, right?
Oh, I don't want to talk about the Hall of Fame.
At some point.
After that stupid semifinalist list came out and all of the Jets were off of it.
Oh.
All of them.
I didn't pay attention.
Nick Mangold didn't even make it to the final 15. Stop.
That's wrong.
Or final 25.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, that's rough. I didn't even notice that, obviously.
I mean, Brandon Marshall I can get over. There are a billion receivers in line. But Nick Mangold, come on.
He should have been on there.
Kevin Y made it in. I know it took forever, but he didn't even make it to the final 25. Stop. And I'm not just saying that because we look alike.
He'll make it there at some point, though.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, he'll eventually get there. But I'm getting with the coaches like I am with the Hall of Fame. Like, eventually, the guys that have been on this backlog are going to get the jobs. We always talk about offensive coordinators, right? You should take an offensive guy because it's an offensive league. But now you've got such a glut of DCs that have been waiting their turn that maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for them to start getting hired.
You and I are seeing this so differently.
Really?
2 of the guys on my list weren't in the league 3 years ago. I don't have a lot of the been a DC for 3, 4, 5 years.
Really?
I don't have. I've got one. And
I
have a funny feeling it's who you're going to take next.
Well, I got another one. Lou Anarumo.
I could be wrong.
Cincinnati.
Maybe it's not who you're going to take next.
Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinator. He's been hot on the interview market. Probably not as hot as we thought he was going to be last time around, but that's another guy. I feel like he's going to get his shot eventually. And yeah, if I need a coach, I'm gonna call him, especially if the hot ones are going to tell me no.
Well, and I guess that's my point is that he's the second call. And look, I've stumped for him to get a job for a couple of years now. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Really? Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break before we come back to you for your next selections here in today's daily draft. Who is on the short list here? Who would you be hiring? Who of the candidates for the next coaching cycle in the NFL? We'll be right back. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime. at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are here at Lowe's. Bring home a holiday living 4-piece decor set with a wreath, garland, and 2 potted trees. A $149 value, just $59. Valid through 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
UNC Asheville basketball is back on the air this Friday night as Johnson University comes to Kimmel Arena. The Bulldogs won 2 of 3 in Canada over Thanksgiving and look to keep it rolling. The Ingles Countdown the Tip-Off show starts at 6 with a tip at 6:30 on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Hi, this is Tom Ellis from Paramount Kia on Brevard Road in Asheville, home of the EV9, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a very blessed New Year.
Embracing the magic of the season. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us at the Real Estate News Radio Show. May your days be filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of cherished moments. Here's to a joyous celebration with family and friends.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great, but with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. When you switch to Boost, get an iPhone 11 for only $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. You'll get amazing service too, because only Boost switches between the top networks to give you the best service. So stop by a Boost Mobile store and give the gift of Boost. That's an iPhone 11 for $49.99 or a free Samsung Galaxy A23. Get yours at a Boost Mobile store today. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers and in-store only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. We are back live in the Ingles studio. Sportsocracy Daily Draft. NFL coaching candidates. If you were needing to hire a coach, who would be on your short list? I took Ben Johnson first because he is the hottest name in the NFL right now as far as coaching circles go. Well, I mean, unless you're throwing out the we're going to throw the bag at Jim Harbaugh, see if we can get him away from Michigan. That was Jeremy's first pick. Then Jeremy goes with Frank Smith, the offensive coordinator from the Miami Dolphins. Then I followed that up with a couple of DCs who've been waiting around for their shot, Aaron Glenn and Lou Anarumo.
And it shouldn't be surprising that my next pick, also an offensive guy.
Yep.
Houston Texans offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick.
Wow, that's early, isn't it?
You better get in now because you're not going to get a shot at it.
I guess.
This is how young guys work. Mike McDaniel was a coordinator for how long? There you go. I mean, when you're looking at – because this is what everybody in the league is looking for is the young, non-retrain – like Nathaniel Hackett. Mm-hmm. That's where I got duped on that one, is that he's an older guy. And he's been around the league. He's had some chances, but it's constant churn. When somebody comes in and they have the ability to call plays, which you can think whatever you think of the Houston Texans, I don't really care. And you can think of Bryce Young – or C.J. Stroud, what you want to think. I heard Dan Patrick talking about this earlier, that, well, the Panthers would be way better with C.J. Stroud. A, no, they wouldn't. B, you might be right in terms of Bryce would be better than he is, and C.J. would probably be better than Bryce currently is, but I don't think it'd be by a ton. Mm-hmm. But I do credit Bobby Slowick with a lot of that. Being able to use these offensive weapons, it is – if you're a fantasy football person, it is maddening to watch how he uses his wide receivers. But it's because he gets the best out of all of them. They're all useful, including Robert Woods, who's not not all that quick at this point.
Mm-hmm. Now he's another one. What, he spent a year under McVay, and then now he's first year under D'Amico? Is that how that works?
Sounds right. I know this is his first year as an OC. He was with McVay back when they were in Washington. They were in San Francisco. He was in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was the passing game coordinator for San Francisco.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I mean, he's a bright guy, young guy, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay. And then
now I think I have to break my own rule because you've allowed this guy to fall too far. You started talking about taking defensive coordinators. I thought for sure you were talking about Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I would have hired him over every single one of those defensive coordinators that you've said so far.
Really?
No doubt. Wouldn't think about it for a second.
More than Aaron Glenn, more than Anarumo, because why?
Again, young guy. He's not been around that long. I mean, he was at Michigan with Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's got an air about him that I see him on the sideline, the way he interacts with players and some of the things I hear him say, and he's got a very coach mentality to him. And I love what he's done with Kyle Hamilton. I love what he's done with that defense. I mean, everybody talks about how good it is. Look, they've had a lot of these guys for many years. Justin Madubuike, never been better than the 2 years under Mike McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's ironic. I really don't. Look, I like Wink Martindale, but I don't like him like I like Mike McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Back Satisfied Browns fan says, none of these guys could hold Jim Short's jockstrap. As a defensive coordinator, I agree with you. As a head coach, I read that book. Did not like how it ended.
Nope. Not doing it again. Not doing it again. That's why you won't find Dan Quinn on my list. I just wouldn't. I feel like he's had his shot at being a head coach. What?
You pick your players. Just changed my list a little bit. You talk for a minute. I got things to fix over here.
Yeah. I'll go. Let's see. Oh, this should be fun. How about Antonio Pierce? Because honestly, I think he may end up getting this job anyway.
If I was the Raiders, I would hire him. I would not hire him anywhere else.
Really?
No.
Why not? Has he not shown that he can be a leader of men? Does he? I mean,
so the same guy that almost single-handedly took down the Arizona State program. That's the guy you want in charge of.
That's college, and I don't care.
Oh, I do.
Why?
Oh.
He was okay, so he was bending the NCAA rules. I don't care.
No. This wasn't bending the NCAA
Jim Harbaugh
rules.
was doing the same thing.
This was going double birds, stone cold Steve Austin style.
Yeah.
And that's his mentality. With the Raiders, okay, you've done that for 45 years. That kind of plays into who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's going into Washington and doing that?
No.
Do you think he's going into New England or any of these other jobs? We could have done this until this time tomorrow. I don't know that I would have ever gotten Antonio Pierce.
Really?
Which is ironic because he would be my choice for the Raiders.
Which is part of the reason why I took him here, because there's a good chance that he's going to get that job anyway. And, hey, I already got one. And I'll go Gerard Mayo on the next one. Screw it. I'll go all defensive guys.
Wow. That's
you don't like him either.
That's 4 defensive coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like going on a scavenger hunt and you're looking under like park benches. I don't think they work that hard. This is going to be much more obvious than that. No, you don't have to go down that manhole cover. They didn't hide clues in the sewer.
Uh-huh.
I'm out on defensive in large part. There is one exception. All right, so with Gerard Mayo, what's the staff going to look like? Am I going to get Josh McDaniels as my offensive coordinator? I'm a pass.
I hope not.
Am I going to get a bunch of Bill Belichick retreads? No, I'm good. And I'm sure he's a great guy from everything I've ever heard. He's a very smart guy, but I'm good. I'm good. There's nothing attached to him offensively that makes me go, that'll win in this league. If I'm going to do that, I'd just go hire Bill. If I want the Patriot way, which I don't under any circumstances.
Right. I mean, if you think that's the only thing that he brings to the table is the Patriot way. I mean, I get that's what he's been brought up in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only thing he can do.
No, but that's where all of his ties come from. This has always been my problem with hiring anybody that comes off the Bill Belichick tree. You're getting the guys that Bill wouldn't promote to coordinator on that staff. That's why they've all failed, because they've all, in large part, been idiots. Go back and watch some of that Matt Patricia Detroit Lion football. I promise you'll figure out what it is I'm saying about Gerard Mayo. And I think Gerard Mayo's a better coach, but you're not going to be able to get over what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll happily take Dan Quinn, because you said, he got his bite at it. You're right, and he went to a Super Bowl. He hired Kyle Shanahan as his OC. I would hire Dan Quinn in a heartbeat.
Good luck.
Because I love what his staff could look like. Just think about all the guys he's worked with. That's the other part of Mike McDonald. That Baltimore staff is so damn good that there's no telling what receivers coach he would bring with him to be the offensive coordinator. And who knows, I might end up with the next Bobby Slowick as my OC. I'm good with that. I'm terrified that teams that offensively can't do squat. That's kind of what bothers me about Aaron Glenn, too, is all the offensive guys, even if they'll leave, they're going with Ben.
So you take Dan Quinn and hope he brings, Kellen Moore with him? After his time's up in L.A.?
I don't think that's how that would go. But there are some pretty bright guys that have been on those two staffs that he's going to bring somebody.
Yeah.
Or he could start pilfering leaves off the Shanahan totem pole that just haven't gotten to the top yet. Did hire him in the first place. So, I mean, they had at least a decent relationship, so there's no telling how many of those guys were CAs or quality control guys. I'm dumbfounded that Dan Quinn hasn't gotten a job yet.
I'm not.
I'm dumbfounded. And he will this year if that's what he wants. I think he would have had the Denver job if he'd have said yes, but he wouldn't do that. Oh, I got one pick left here, and there's a couple guys I'm thinking about. I'm not going to say his name just on the off chance that you don't. I'll go Todd Monken.
Oh, okay.
He has head coaching experience, and I think he's a bright dude. What he's done with that Baltimore offense is pretty special.
He is a very bright guy. And now his offensive schemes have seemed to work pretty much everywhere he's been. When he was in Tampa, that offense was working. Obviously, with Georgia, he won 2 national championships, and now he could be on the path to winning the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be in line. That's a good pick.
I don't think this guy's going to be your pick, so I can answer this question out of the YouTube chat before you say your guy.
Okay.
Kelvin Joyner asked, any truth behind the David Shaw rumors? It will always be out there. I don't think it's going to happen. I will tell you this, though. I've heard 2 names with the Duke job to replace Mike Elko. David Shaw's one, Jason Garrett's the other.
Oh, okay.
He almost got it when Elko got it.
Right.
And I have a funny feeling I'll take those 2. You can have the field to be the next head coach at Duke.
Fair enough. I guess my UDFA here, I'll go Brian Johnson. I mean, I know this year hasn't gone all that well for him, but he was a hot name. He's been a hot name, and they win it all. He's gonna get a call.
He'll get calls, but he is such a weird play caller. You said early on Bobby Slowick. That's early on Brian Johnson to me. He needs to stay in Philadelphia, and I'm not sure that's not why they promoted him.
Yeah.
You do not need to touch a head coaching job for a couple of years. And when you lose both coordinators, that has to play in.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to leap at the first job that calls because he'll be a candidate forever. And if I'm Nick Sirianni, I want to keep that staff together as long as I can. He's just been maddening in the way he calls plays. And
You're good. You're good.
I'm good. I like the guy a great deal.
Right.
Not that much.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's the ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Back satisfied Browns fan said, neither one of you picked Eric Bieniemy. You're right.
Oh.
Because I've watched him actively try to get Sam Darnold killed for about 11 weeks. And frankly, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm that was an error on my part. I should have picked him.
Over Antonio Pierce, yes, probably. Yeah. I will give you that. As soon as he took Antonio Pierce. And Kelvin Joyner asked Brian Flores, I'm not there.
Mm-mm.
He's so reckless as a blitzer. And I mean, I get why you're doing it. And he's done a good job covering up massive defensive deficiencies. But I also go back to you sued the NFL. And if I'm an owner, I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. Because now I have to be guarded with everything I say to you.
Right. Now
what was said to him, I'm not going to say that was good. I'm just saying that's going to be in the back of my head of, okay, let's say 4 years down the road, this doesn't go well. What are you going to do, run to the media and tell them? Or are you going to sue me?
Right.
Anytime the word lawsuit comes in, you are completely off my board. You just are. Mm-hmm. That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I had a right hand at one of my previous employment destinations. As soon as I came in, I did a background on them, sued the previous employer. Guess what I did? Transferred them the hell away from me.
Right.
Because I say wordy dirds all the time. And I went, no. No, sir. You can go work with Bill. Bill is vanilla. I am not.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The most important message of the day is next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed 1 layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast, even if your symptoms feel mild. Ask your doctor if a prescription oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com, sponsored by Pfizer.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The Rolling Stones, the greatest rock and roll band in the world, famous for their police-escorted motorcades that whisk them in and out of their live shows. Now, iHeartRadio gives you a chance to be part of the entourage on the Stones' upcoming tour. You and 3 friends travel via motorcade to the VIP entrance, check out Soundcheck, and see the Rolling Stones live from some of the best seats in the house. Another iHeartRadio once-in-a-lifetime experience. Enter to win by listening to this station on the free iHeartRadio app.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Ingalls Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingalls locations, donate online or at the Ingalls Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingalls Market, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Green.
Don't do crimes!
And this kind of ties into yesterday's crime story just a little bit.
If somebody else is putting things in their keister, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And you told Mark Sterling that story because he came in and started asking me logistical questions that I don't... I'm not sure I understand why I was asked that.
Just to be fair, I did not. He brought the story up to me, and I finished the story for him, and he went, oh, okay, you've heard that one. I was like, yep, told that one on the show yesterday. So you can tune in tomorrow morning on 570 WWNC, and maybe he'll tell this story because there's another suspect who was caught with stuff that he wasn't supposed to have, and guess what? It happened in Florida. So, corrections on this guy's 46-year-old Caleb Phillips. He was being booked. He was arrested on a warrant, charging him with failure to appear in court in connection with a pending 2022 DUI case. So he had turned himself in, right? He's being booked. He's being processed. He walks over to get undressed, to take on the, or to put on the orange jumpsuit, and a pill bottle fell from his region. And they went, well, what was that? I don't know. Here's the thing. So here's what happened. I was asleep, right? And somebody must have put those in my underwear. It's the only explanation I can think of, officer, is that while I was sleeping, somebody slipped a pill bottle into my underwear, and there's no way I could have known it until I was just undressing in front of you.
This is why you got to be able to think on your feet, because his answer should have been, I just came back from a hunting trip in West Virginia, and that's a mating call.
Bingo. Bingo. Should have been, right? And the officer said, oh, well, okay, if it's not yours, I wonder what could be inside. And the guy replied, it's probably some Advil or something. So he opened it up. What was inside? It was meth. But meth disguised as Advil. Oh, so you did know. And there again, you thought we were stupid.
How do you disguise meth as Advil?
So he had the meth. Apparently, it was in like a little. I'm guessing it might have been like in an Advil blister pack or something that he had it. Just in case he got searched, right? You'd find the pill bottle and go, "Oh, this is Advil." We'll just toss that away. There's nothing to worry about. No, it's meth. In the undies. It's never going to work, guys.
Brilliant.
Never going to work.
My story is from the state of California. Who's shocked people are doing crimes in California. It's about 38-year-old Angel Rachine Bolton. That is an interesting middle name. She drives a silver Kia Rio LX. She's driving down the road, just living her life, when a Benicia city police officer noticed something a little off about that license plate. It just doesn't something about it doesn't look right. So he pulls her over. When he pulls her over, he gets closer to the back of the car and realizes that the license plate is a piece of printer paper that's been duct taped on the back of the car. That's not the funny part. So you see the duct tape on this. Okay. And it has a made-up fictitious tag number, 6NVJ817. Then you look at the registration, which she had also drawn on with a black magic marker.
Mm-hmm.
It was out of date. It's for January 2023. It's November 2023. Dum-dum. So when they posted this on their social medias, they said, we know we are not superheroes, but just an FYI, this is not a way to get one over on us. Pro tip, at least make the registration current. Now, that caused me to immediately ask one very basic question, because there's only two scenarios here. Either Miss Bolton is such a dum-dum that she didn't know what year it was. That's A. I find that to be far less likely than that she got away with this for so long that the registration on her fictitious printer paper license plate went out.
Oh, so she'd been getting away with it for a year?
What makes more sense?
That thing would have been still there a year later. There's no way. Even in California, where it doesn't rain much, that thing would have vaporized.
Depends.
Right?
It depends. I mean, if you park in a deck, or you've got a structure where you live, you don't drive very far. I mean, just looking at the license plate, it looks, it's laminated. I didn't notice that until you said it, but it looked weird before. I couldn't figure out why. Yeah, it's laminated. You can see the laminate paper around it.
Then, yeah, she's probably been getting away with this for 2 years.
She did
it last year.
That's kind of where my brain was at, is that she did this in January of 2022 and went, I'm good, and then just didn't think about it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking from personal experience, you can go a long time without anybody ever figuring out that your plate's dead.
Hell, Chad Nesbitt's been doing it for about 5 years. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
Good for you.
I couldn't resist.
That made me feel good, and I didn't even tell the joke. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's been getting away with this for a long time. I don't think this is a new one, and she screwed up. Oh, I mean, she obviously screwed up because she did crimes.
And she was arrested for driving with a fictitious tag. No driver's license. No insurance. No, basically all of the things that you need to drive a car, sans the tires and the vehicle itself.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have any of it.
Taking her driving lessons from Tammy Lynn Sitch, apparently.
Oh.
Yikes. That was a bad case. Sonny, former WWE diva.
Yeah. When that girl from your high school,
for a long time.
Yeah, when that girl from your high school that wouldn't give you the time of day in a watch shop in high school calls and says, I'm ready to make it work. Just look at the before and after of Miss Stitch.
Sitch.
Oh, I thought it was Stitch.
Sitch.
I thought it was Stitch.
Yeah. 17 years. Well, Tammy killed a guy.
Don't do crimes.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville this weekend. College football championship games, right? Conference championship games. They're going to play a big role, one way or the other. We're getting at least one spot decided by a game this weekend, right? The Washington-Oregon game. That's winner's in, loser goes home.
Yes.
Is there enough chaos? Is there a scenario where they both can get in? Is it like the game, like if it was like the game that they had earlier this season, where it's last possession, is there a path to both Oregon and Washington being ranked in the top 4 next week?
There is.
Well, I guess on Sunday.
They would have to root for Florida State to lose.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody's rooting for that.
I think they would have to root for Michigan to lose. I think. That may not be as important. And they would have to root for Georgia to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's super close again, I struggle to believe that you would put Alabama in ahead of them. Now, you get the West Coast bias. I know somebody's going to say that in very short order. But you got two teams that have been this good. Washington was undefeated. If they lose, their only loss will be to Oregon, who they had already beaten. I just struggle to see how that's going to be worse than losing to Texas.
Yeah.
Now, Alabama will have a better win because they beat Georgia. I I mean, there's a path to anything.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to
It
get
would have
there.
to be last-second field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
And Oregon would have to beat Washington.
It would have to be a barn burner, and you're right. Yeah, Oregon would have to beat Washington for that to even have a possibility.
I would say it's more likely if any conference got 2, I would say it's more likely that Alabama and Georgia would make it if Alabama beat them.
I agree.
They shouldn't. I'm going to say that for the second or third time. They shouldn't.
But if the SEC
But they very
bias
well
is
could.
real.
The SEC bias is no doubt real.
Exactly. And if it's as big as everybody wants to say it is, then yeah, I could fully see a path where
if that were to
championship
happen-
games don't go the way that you want them to, and everybody loses, and Georgia and Alabama go down to the wire. You can get both of them in.
What would that require, though?
I mean, it would require the same basic thing.
No,
it would
I don't know
require
that I
a
agree with you.
shootout-y, close field goal game.
Michigan wins, Florida State wins, Alabama narrowly beats Georgia, Texas loses to Oklahoma State. Alabama and Georgia are in.
Mm.
Now, the question is, how do you seed them? I have absolutely no idea. That's where the fun chaos comes, is if anything doesn't go the way it's supposed to, how you seed these teams is going to be an absolute disaster. Because, all right, let's say they're taking the Jordan Travis thing into account,
yep,
which they claim they're not. They claim it's the resume, the body of work, and the team on the whole.
Yes.
Where does Florida State fall in that? I mean, does Georgia stay ahead of them and then Alabama passes them and you've got Florida State, Michigan?
No.
Because I struggle to believe that you're going to get Florida State in anything but the game with the 1. No matter what happens. Whoever the other 3 are, they're going to be ahead of Florida State.
Right.
Because they're going to use them as a sacrificial lamb to whoever their thought of the number 1 team is. Colin Green said that they want to see an Alabama-Texas rematch. I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. For that to happen, there would have to be chaos unlike anything we have detailed to this point, and maybe an abduction by space aliens. I think both of those things would have to happen.
Yeah.
And look, if we're being really honest here, if you give the committee any reason to put Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, and Oregon in, that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The teams they don't want to see are Florida State. They don't want to see Washington. They could probably deal with Texas, but I don't think they really want Texas either. They'd rather have Ohio State than Texas.
Why not Washington? Because of the brand? The brand
brand's
isn't
not
as big?
strong enough. The last time they got here, they got the absolute sin beat out of them.
Yeah.
It's not going to rate as well. Oregon is more of a brand than Washington.
No
I mean, look, I'm not saying anything untoward here. When the Big Ten came calling and they went after USC first, USC basically did the mom said I had to bring my little brother with me, and that's how UCLA got there.
Right.
They did the same thing with Oregon. They got to come with us because we're going to gut the conference, and there is nobody else out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else was just left to die on the
Well,
vine.
Washington was the tag along in that scenario. Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
And
Washington
it
and
makes sense.
UCLA are really lucky that they have very famous brothers.
Mm-hmm. And it makes absolute sense. No doubt.
And Washington and Oregon, the reason that they kind of teamed up together is because they're in-state rivals. They don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State doesn't have that kind of budget.
Yep.
Washington State doesn't have that kind of budget.
Pennywise asked if Alabama beats Georgia, Georgia still get in? There's a path. There is a path.
There's a path. I think a lot would need to happen.
I agree.
He said it happened 2 years ago. There's 2 things you got to understand about 2 years ago. A, the SEC was way better than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
B, you didn't have nearly as many undefeated teams.
And we were already positioned that way. Mm-hmm. This is the problem. Jeremy, you've said painted yourself into a corner with the rankings. I mean,
I have no sympathy here.
That's where Alabama's at right now. Alabama being at 8 and Georgia being at 1. See, the year we both went to the college football playoff, we were 1-3.
Well, I mean, Texas and Alabama were the teams that and I haven't mentioned them because I think so much would have to go wrong for them to get up there. You painted yourself in a corner with them too. Because you've had Oregon and Washington ahead of them. So you've told us that the Pac-12 is better than the SEC all year long. That's another layer. I hadn't even gotten into that side. you get the Pac-12 is really close again. How are you supposed to sell to me that all of a sudden, because of one game against each other, these teams aren't better than what you told me they were better than all year long?
Right.
They're both one-loss teams. They only lost to each other. How does that not make you one of the top 4 teams in the country? But you did that. You've done that this entire time. You should have. If you didn't believe that and you wanted to get Alabama in here, you should have sunk Oregon down further when they lost. But you didn't. This is on you. You have nobody to blame here but yourself.
Yep. Does the committee have their thumb on the scale like that? Do they have the ones that they want more than any? Have they already been doing this? Have they already set this up and made up their minds on what they want to see? I don't believe they have. I believe that's why we have the chaos that we have right now, or the potential chaos that we have right now. They've been ranking them like they see them for the last 6 weeks or whatever, and now we're getting to a point where it's all going to shake out. And the drama is heavy.
Well, I mean, and the question is, do you throw the baby out with the bathwater because of one game? And I maintain you shouldn't. Before we go to break, because I have an original I'm mad that I didn't get to yesterday because I was going to break this story yesterday, and we didn't get to it because Power Rankings ran along. So now that it's come out, I will give my opinion on it. Who should be rooting for who? So if you're Alabama, who are you rooting for?
I got to be rooting for Iowa, right?
I don't think Iowa has anything to do with you.
I got to be rooting for everybody in front of me to lose.
You're not getting in over Michigan, even if they don't win a conference title. That one's irrelevant. You're rooting for yourself. You're rooting for Washington really hard because you against Oregon, that is not a matchup that you really want to deal with. And you're rooting for Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Texas, I would say you're rooting for Alabama because you'll get in over them so long as you – because it's hard to get over the head-to-head. And I would say you're rooting for Louisville and probably Washington as well.
Right.
Anybody with one loss does not want to have to come up against Oregon because the eye test just really hurts you there.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is CSPN Asheville. When we come back, Jeremy will be mad.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Ingalls Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingalls Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingalls Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Boom, 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 boom. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
With Black Friday savings all month long at the Home Depot, you get all the jingle bells and whistles you could wish for with LG appliances. With America's most reliable line of appliances per independent consumer study, you can take holiday doing to holiday done and always be ready to handle last-minute holiday guests. Final days to save up to $900 on select laundry sets, including top brands like LG, with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Ends November 29th.
Dirty Turkish back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Back flat.
Let the hate flow through you. This may have made it through the newswire yesterday, and I got word of this before our show yesterday, and I honestly thought it was so stupid that I couldn't believe it was true. I was gonna rant about it because I knew part of the process had happened, and the text that I got was that Arkansas's vetting Bobby Petrino to be their new offensive coordinator.
What?
Yeah, that Bobby Petrino. The one that, if you're watching us on YouTube, you see the last time that we saw him in Arkansas was after he had skidded down the sidewalk because he wrecked a motorcycle that he and his girlfriend, who he was having a salacious affair with, and she worked in the athletic department. Yeah, that same guy. Now, I'm a day late and a dollar short, which, you know, that happens sometimes. He's the new offensive coordinator at Arkansas. They hired him.
Oh, wow.
They actually hired him and gave him a $7,000 vehicle allotment. I'm not making that up. That's actually true. I am so unbelievably dumbfounded. And how did that conversation go? Like, the Board of Regents looks at each other and goes, hey, you remember the last time our offense was good? It was with Bobby Petrino. And somebody in the back went, you know, he's unemployed, right? And they all laughed, and they went, no, we could never do that. Then it got real quiet, and they all looked at each other and went, or could we? How in the world do you sell this? How are we supposed to forget him in the neck brace with his face all beat up? I mean, I get that winning trumps everything, but there are times that you just got to look at athletic departments and go, what are you, stupid? I'm mad.
He just wants to make it right. He just wants to make it right.
Hey, he won at Missouri State. He's learned his lesson.
Now.
Yeah, I think I'd have done, I don't know, anything else. Probably a better idea.
Here comes Bobby Petrino to win the Hogs 6 games next year. Let's go. You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville. We'll be with you tomorrow on a Threadbare Thursday right here at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold weather begins its retreat as we get a little bit more of a southerly flow over the next few days. 2 real good-looking days, but jackets definitely required. You may shed 1 layer tomorrow, but still, although we're going to get into the 50s, it's still going to be a little chilly. Rain will be here by Friday. Sunny today, 50. Tonight, 28. Some spots colder. Tomorrow will be up into the upper 50s and sunny. Good chance of rain Friday, 55. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
A fan that has to happen to have a lot of money, and that's why he could buy a team. But it's clear and obvious that he don't know what the hell he's doing. When you're hiring and firing coaches mid-season every single year in back-to-back years, something we've never seen, it's obvious you don't know what you're doing. At this point, you need to give way, give up your veto power, and let the football people in the building handle the football business.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It is the Adam Gold Show. How you doing, everyone? I am Adam Gold. And it occurs to me that Chris Canty is unaware, Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio in the mornings, he is unaware that the football people in the building are responsible for the roster on the field. So, maybe we get different football people in the building. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm Adam Gold. Graham is here for...